Chapter 4980. Demon devours the human realm. Suddenly, a low voice rang out from the ancient demon weapon. Following that, an endless amount of demonic aura spread out. The demonic aura, it turned into a gigantic vortex. When the dense fireballs came crashing down, they were all devoured by the vortex. Following that, the ancient demon weapon slammed into the illusory world rapidly. Bam, bam, bam. The ancient demon weapon slammed into the illusory world one after another. Each time it slammed into it, it was as though the earth was quaking. Even the void was cracking apart. That illusory world, it was also cracking apart rapidly. Damn it! The powerful being of 8-level palace could not help but roar out in anger. His eyes were filled with killing intent. They shone with a chilling killing intent. He wanted to stop everything, but there was no way he could do so. After all, he had only revealed his body, and not his true body. Lad, I'll remember you. You're good. Very good. You better pray that you don't meet your ancestor. If you do, your ancestor will definitely crush your bones into dust and tear your body into pieces. The venomous voice of the old master of 8-level palace rang out. His murderous intent towards Lin Feng was like an unceasing torrent of water. It was like the overflowing waters of the Yellow River. It couldn't be controlled. Yours truly will remember you. Wait till yours truly sees you, old thing. Yours truly will definitely teach you a lesson. Lin Feng curled his lips and said. The face of the powerful being of 8-level palace turned grim as his body dissipated. In the next moment, Lin Feng's ancient demon weapon destroyed that illusory world directly. Even the old master has been defeated. How could this be? How could this be? The three old masters of 8-level palace screamed out in disbelief. The cultivators of 8-level palace let out looks of horror. Even the ultimate powerful being of 8-level palace had been defeated. Who else could stop Lin Feng and the others? At this moment, Lin Feng controlled the ancient demon weapon and slammed it into the protective barrier of 8-level palace. Strike after strike, it slammed into the barrier. Crack, crack. After 72 consecutive strikes, the protective barrier of 8-level palace began to crack. The 8 extreme palace is finished. The faces of the cultivators outside turned pale. They knew that this time, the 8 extreme palace was completely finished. Lin Feng and the others were too savage. If the hidden powerhouse of the Baji Palace was in the Baji Palace, then he might be able to resist the attacks of Lin Feng and the others. They might even be able to eliminate Lin Feng and the others. However, he wasn't in the Baji Palace, so he couldn't stop Lin Feng and the others just by relying on the figure he had manifested. Therefore, the fate of the 8-level palace had already been decided. Run. Hurry up and run. The cultivators of the 8 extreme palace cried out in horror. They wanted to escape. The 8 extreme palace's 3 ancestors, palace master, vice palace master, and many other higher-ups fled in panic. They wanted to live. They didn't want to die. However, this wasn't something they could escape from. The demonic energy released by the ancient demon weapon covered the sky, shrouding everyone within. Then, the spectating cultivators saw that the 8 extreme palace cultivators seemed to be attacked by an unknown force amidst the demonic chi. Their bodies quickly fell down to the ground, and they were all dead by the time they hit the ground. Why is this happening? We can't accept this. The 8 extreme palace has existed for countless years, but now it's being destroyed by our hands. We won't be able to face our ancestors after death. Lin Feng, I curse all of you. I curse all of you to die a horrible death. I curse all of you to have a fate 10 times, no, 100 times worse than ours. The cultivators of the 8 extreme palace couldn't help but roar. They were unwilling to die like this, and some even cursed Lin Feng. Alas, their fates were already sealed. Including the 3 ancestors, all of them were killed by Lin Feng's ancient demon weapon. The 8 extreme palace turned into a mountain of corpses. Countless corpses lay on the ground as the thick stench of blood permeated the world. Lin Feng took away the essences of the 3 ancestors. Sun Yuanqing was a Dao immortal expert, so his essences had a great effect on Lin Feng's cultivation. Therefore, Lin Feng could use his essences. The essences of the others couldn't be used by Lin Feng, but there were others who could. Lin Feng and the others collected the rings of the dead cultivators of the Baji Palace. Then, they looted the treasures of the Baji Palace and set the whole place on fire. The raging fire engulfed the 8 Extreme Palace in an instant. Lin Feng's group didn't linger and quickly left. The cultivators who came to join the 8 Extreme Palace had lingering fears. Fortunately, they didn't join the 8 Extreme Palace. Otherwise, they would be dead for sure. Now, they looked at the burning 8 Extreme Palace and couldn't help but sigh with emotion. A top power was actually destroyed. Very quickly, the news that Lin Feng, Yun Tianyu, and the others had destroyed the Baji Palace quickly spread in Little Western Paradise. The Baji Palace was so powerful. How could it be destroyed by someone? Moreover, it was destroyed by a few people. Naturally, no one would believe such a thing. However, as more and more rumors spread, more and more people began to pay attention to this matter. Therefore, many forces sent people to the ancestral ground of the 8 Extreme Palace to investigate. When the cultivators of many forces arrived, they were shocked to find that the ancestral land of the 8-level palace had turned into ruins. The 8 Extreme Palace was destroyed. The news was true. An ancient sect that had been passed down for countless years was destroyed just like that. This matter was too shocking and inconceivable. However, no matter how unwilling the world was to believe this matter, no matter how much they didn't dare to believe this matter, it had already happened. The ancient power of the 8 Extreme Palace was truly destroyed by Lin Feng's group. The destruction of the 8 Extreme Palace caused a great uproar. Moreover, this news quickly spread from the minor Western horizon to the other domains. One had to know that the 8 Extreme Palace's reputation was extremely resounding in the undying world. Now that it was destroyed, this matter naturally caused a great sensation in the undying world. The forces in the outside world didn't dare to believe this matter. After all, it was too unbelievable for a few people to destroy the 8 Extreme Palace. How could the 8 Extreme Palace be destroyed with such a powerful foundation? The forces in the other domains also sent a large number of cultivators to investigate this matter. When they arrived at the ancestral ground of the 8 Extreme Palace, everyone could finally confirm this matter. The 8 Extreme Palace was truly destroyed. Chapter 4981. Western Paradise City. The Crown Prince, Di Wudao, had come to the city after hearing about Lin Feng. However, by the time he arrived, Lin Feng had already left. Di Wudao already knew about what had happened to the Baji Palace. Di Wudao was furious because the Baji Palace was one of the top factions that supported him. Now that the Baji Palace had been destroyed, it was a huge blow to Di Wudao. Di Wudao's expression was indifferent as he looked at the ruins of the city lord's mansion. The mirror of future floated beside Di Wudao and said, "Baji Palace has been destroyed. Your Majesty's brothers must be extremely excited when they hear this news." Yeah, they must be overjoyed. Emperor Wudao raised his eyebrows and said, "The mirror of the future said, Lin Baiyan's son has already matured." Di Wudao nodded gloomily and said, "Yes, he's matured. It'll be even harder to kill him now." "What do you plan to do, Your Highness?" asked the mirror of the future. Di Wudao said, "Have the assassin dynasty send even stronger cultivators to kill him?" "I've already notified the assassin dynasty," said the mirror of the future. "That kid is like a loach. It's really hard to find him. Where would he run off to now? Is he with the primordial survivors? I don't know where they're hiding. Are you still unable to find them?" asked Di Wudao. The mirror of the future said, "The primordial survivors' residence has been blocked by the heavens. I can't find them." Di Wudao frowned. The mirror of the future said, "Lin Feng has a weakness. He's a playboy. We can start with his women." Di Wudao said, "That's a good idea. Using his women to lure him out isn't a bad idea. However, I'm sure his women have already been taken care of, right? It won't be easy to take advantage of that." The mirror of the future said, "As far as I know, there's a woman in the Western Paradise City who has an ambiguous relationship with this young man. Originally, many people thought that this woman had been with this young man for a long time, but later, something happened between them, so their relationship became estranged," said Di Wudao. You want to make use of this woman? Di Wudao frowned and continued. Since the brat no longer has anything to do with this woman, do you think we can still use her to deal with him? The Mirror of Future said, perhaps not, but it's still an opportunity. Let's capture this woman and spread the news to get him to come over. Once this kid appears, we can immediately kill him, said Di Wudao. To men, women are merely playthings. So, do you think this method will work? The Mirror of Future hesitated for a moment before asking, what do you intend to do, Your Highness? I'm going to meet that woman and make her my chess piece, Di Wudao said as he disappeared from where he stood. The Mirror of Future also disappeared without a trace. Over the past few days, Shui Yuexin had heard news of the 8 Extreme Palace's destruction. This news shocked her greatly. The 8 Extreme Palace was a powerful organization, yet it had been destroyed just like that. It was truly shocking. Previously, when Lin Feng had destroyed the City Lord Manor, Shui Yuexin had planned to wait until after Lin Feng had destroyed the City Lord Manor. Then, she would find Lin Feng and apologize to him. She would then explain her feelings to Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng had quickly left after destroying the City Lord Manor and looting it. He had not given Shui Yuexin a chance to meet him. Thus, Shui Yuexin had not been able to tell Lin Feng her thoughts. Now, Lin Feng was nowhere to be found. Thinking that she might never see Lin Feng again, Shui Yuexin felt a heart-wrenching pain. Thus, Shui Yuexin sat in front of her dressing table in a daze. You're Shui Yuexin? Suddenly, a voice came from behind her. Shui Yuexin was shocked and quickly stood up. She saw a young-looking cultivator and a mirror appear behind her. Shui Yuexin quickly summoned the immortal sword that Lin Feng had given to her. The immortal sword floated in front of her. She asked coldly, who are you? You don't need to know who I am. I have a mission for you. Di Wudao said. What mission? Shui Yuexin asked subconsciously. Help me kill Lin Feng, Di Wudao said. Hearing that, Shui Yuexin's expression changed. Shui Yuexin's facial expression changed. Shui Yuexin wasn't stupid. On the contrary, she was extremely smart. Therefore, she immediately guessed that the person in front of her was Lin Feng's enemy. Even though she didn't know his social status, his qi was extraordinary. He was probably an incredible cultivator. Don't even think about it, Shui Yuexin said coldly. Then, she controlled the immortal sword to attack Di Wudao. Di Wudao reached out and tapped lightly. Shui Yuexin's immortal sword froze in the void. Shui Yuexin's heart was in a state of shock. This person in front of her, was he not too scary? Look into my eyes, Di Wudao said. Shui Yuexin wanted to lower her head and not look into Di Wudao's eyes. However, Di Wudao's voice seemed to have a terrifying magical power. She could not help but look into Di Wudao's eyes. When Shui Yuexin's eyes met with Di Wudao's eyes, Shui Yuexin's eyes, she suddenly became confused. Remember, kill Lin Feng at all costs. This is your destiny. Di Wudao's voice was heard. Yes, I will remember, Shui Yuexin said stiffly. It was as if her body was being controlled. Brilliant. This is really brilliant. If Lin Feng were to die in the hands of his ex-woman, he would have died a stupid death. Even if he could not die in the hands of his ex-woman, he would be extremely depressed to see his ex-woman trying to kill him so crazily. If Lin Feng were to kill this woman, it would create a demon in his heart. From then on, it would be very difficult for him to improve his cultivation, Future Mirror said. Di Wudao's lips curled into a sinister smile. All right, let's go. Swoosh. In the next moment, there was a flash of light. Di Wudao and Future Mirror disappeared without a trace. Shui Yuexin's eyes returned to normal. However, there was a sinister killing intent in her eyes. I want to kill Lin Feng. Kill him at all costs. Chapter 4982. Lin Feng didn't know about Shui Yuexin's matter. At this time, Lin Feng and Leng Zixi followed Yun Tianyu and the others to the hiding place of the ancient survivors. They hid in the depths of the Western Heaven Ancient Forest, in a parallel space near the huge inland lake between the Lesser Western Heaven Domain and the Western Heaven Domain. Lin Feng remembered that the Raging Flame Island was in this inland lake. Lin Feng also remembered Yun Zhongtian, But Lin Feng didn't plan to visit the Raging Flame Island. The location of the parallel space was located in an extremely dangerous place. It was densely covered with restrictions and filled with poisonous gas, so ordinary cultivators didn't dare to enter this place. Of course, even if they entered this place, they might not be able to find the node to enter the parallel world. Lin Feng and Lung Zixi were warmly welcomed after arriving here. Obviously, the ancient survivors already knew that Lin Feng and Lung Zixi had first eliminated the experts of the Baji Palace in the City Lord's Mansion of the Lesser Western Heaven City, and then joined forces with Yun Tianyu and the others to eliminate the Baji Palace. These ancient survivors had a blood feud with the Baji Palace. Lin Feng and Lung Zixi had eliminated so many experts of the Baji Palace, which was simply revenge for these people. Therefore, Lin Feng and Lung Zixi popularity was naturally very high. This parallel world wasn't particularly big, but the scale wasn't particularly small. Now, the number of ancient survivors wasn't large, only 20 to 30,000 people. One had to know, during the heyday, there were tens of millions of ancient survivors. But now, naturally, there was no way to compare it to the heyday. Lin Feng planned to go into seclusion for a few days because he wanted to refine the Tao Immortal's origin he had obtained. Because Lin Feng had already refined the Tao Immortal's origin once before, the effect of refining the Tao Immortal's origin now wouldn't be as good as before. The human body easily developed a great resistance to these things. As the resistance grew stronger, the effect of the things would become worse. But now, even if Lin Feng's body had developed a resistance to the Tao Immortal's origin, it presumably wouldn't be particularly strong. In the room, Lin Feng sat cross-legged and took out the Tao Immortal's origin. Then, he began to refine the Tao Immortal's origin. As the Tao Immortal's origin was gradually refined by Lin Feng's realm began to rise. Lin Feng was at the 5th heaven immortal realm. Although this realm wasn't very high, for Lin Feng to break through to this realm at this age, and with such a powerful accumulation, it was already extremely difficult for him to break through to this realm at this age. With such a strong accumulation, Lin Feng and Lin's realm is. It took Lin Feng 3 days to completely absorb the original strength of the Tao Celestial Realm's realm. He had achieved a breakthrough of this he. Feng's he. Immortal's realm. After coming out of seclusion, Lin Feng had nothing to do, so he decided to meditate for a while. It just so happened that he could continue comprehending the various great Taos. Lin Feng entered the space-time zone for seclusion. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed in the outside world, but in the time and space, 5 years had passed. In these 5 years, Lin Feng's harvest was naturally enormous. Bibi and the others were basically in a state of seclusion. These little fellows grew very quickly. In addition, Lin Feng's 3 insect swarms, the primitive demon refining insects, the celestial devouring insects, and the flying crimson demonic insects, were growing faster and faster, and they were reproducing more and more. The number of primitive demon refining bugs and celestial devouring bugs could be counted as hundreds of millions. On the other hand, the number of flying crimson demon insects could be counted in the tens of millions. After all, the flying crimson demonic insects had only been born for a short period of time. Therefore, in terms of numbers, they could not be compared to the immortal devouring insects and the immortal refining insects. However, as time passed, the flying crimson demon insects would become more and more powerful. In addition, the primordial ancestor insect had completed its 4th evolution, the emperor archaic had completed its 3rd evolution, and the demon king insect had also completed its 3rd evolution. The demon king insect's evolution speed was obviously faster than the emperor archaic's because the demon king insect was not picky about food. It could devour anything, so the demon king insect's evolution speed was faster. However, the emperor archaic was different. The emperor archaic was more picky about food. Therefore, the evolution speed was relatively slower. Bibi and Blackie had completed their 4th evolution respectively, while the white jade toad had completed its 6th evolution. Xiaolong had completed its 2nd evolution. These little guys had all completed their evolutions subtly. Sometimes, Lin Feng did not even know that they had completed their evolutions. After all, Lin Feng's spiritual will could not always observe what was happening in time and space. However, Bibi and the rest had completed their evolutions in their sleep. Therefore, if Bibi and the rest had not said anything, Lin Feng would not have known that they had completed their evolutions. Lin Feng had originally wanted to stay in seclusion for a while longer. The reason why he came out was because the token on Lin Feng's body was emitting waves of energy. Cultivators could use the token to enter the heaven-devouring secret domain. Therefore, when the token emitted intense waves, it meant that the heaven-devouring secret domain was likely to be out soon. After Lin Feng came out of seclusion, the token returned to normal. This made Lin Feng a little suspicious. Lin Feng planned to go out and find out more about the heaven-devouring secret domain. As soon as Lin Feng came out of seclusion, Lung Zishi ran to Lin Feng excitedly. The heaven-devouring secret domain is out, Lung Zishi said. Really? Where is it? Lin Feng could not help but feel excited. When Lung Zishi mentioned the heaven-devouring secret domain, Lin Feng knew that it was definitely in the undying world. Otherwise, Lung Zishi would not have known about it. It's in the inland lake at the border between Mini Western Horizon Domain and Western Horizon Domain, Lung Zishi said. So close. Lin Feng could not help but be delighted. Since it was so close, it would be convenient for him to reach the heaven-devouring secret domain. It would not take too long, Lung Zishi said. Many people have already gone there. Why don't we go there now? Yun Tianyu and the rest have gone there too? Lin Feng asked. They have not gone. They are all in seclusion. However, someone should have informed them. Since they have not come out of seclusion, perhaps they are not interested in the name of the heaven-devouring secret domain, Lung Zishi said. Lin Feng said. That is possible. Of course, there is another reason. Yun Tianyu and the rest have just destroyed the 8 Extreme Palace. Of course, they need to keep a low profile during this period. Lung Zishi nodded and said, We don't need to keep a low profile. We are not people who keep a low profile. Let's go quickly. If we are late, the good stuff will be taken away. Chapter 4983. There were many names for the lake. The people of Western Heaven region like to call it Western Heaven Lake. The people of Minor Western Heaven region like to call it Minor Western Heaven Lake. There were some factions in the lake. The largest faction was Inferno Island. Therefore, the factions in the lake liked to call it Inferno Lake. As for the cultivators from the outside, they liked to call it Inland Lake. Of course, it didn't matter what it was called. The key was that the heaven-devouring secret realm had actually appeared in an inland lake. When this news spread out, it immediately caused a great sensation. Some time ago, the destruction of the 8 Extreme Palace had already attracted the attention of the major forces in the Undying Realm. Many cultivators from various forces had gone to the Minor Western Paradise region to verify this matter. Therefore, during this period of time, a large number of foreign cultivators had rushed to the Minor Western Paradise region. The foreign cultivators had yet to leave. And yet, the heaven-devouring pocket dimension had appeared within the lake at the border between the Minor Western Paradise region and the Minor Western Paradise region. Seeing that, the cultivators who had come to the Minor Western Paradise region became overjoyed. To think that they would be able to come across such an opportunity. The news spread out rapidly. Cultivators who were closer to the Minor Western Heavens region should be able to make it in time for the appearance of the heaven-devouring secret realm if they hurried over at full speed. However, cultivators who were further away would not be able to make it in time for the appearance of the heaven-devouring secret realm after hearing this news. The heaven-devouring secret realm is a secret realm left behind by the heaven-devouring Devil Lord. You must have heard of the heaven-devouring Devil Lord. He is from the sovereign imperial clan. Now, countless cultivators were talking about the heaven-devouring secret realm. Naturally, they couldn't avoid mentioning the heaven-devouring Devil Lord. At this moment, a group of cultivators who were rushing to the heaven-devouring secret realm were talking about the heaven-devouring secret realm and the heaven-devouring Devil Lord. I know about the sovereign imperial clan. Isn't it the legendary Sinner's Blood imperial clan? The most ancient clan among the Sinner's Blood imperial clan. Actually, I'm a little puzzled. Didn't they say that there were very few people in this clan? How could they be part of the Sinner's Blood imperial clan? Someone asked in confusion. At this time, a cultivator said, This is because the cultivators of this race are too strong. They have a long lifespan. Moreover, any cultivator who comes out of this race will become a top expert. At a young age, their battle prowess is heaven-defying. Therefore, this clan is fully deserving of the title of Sinner's Blood Imperial Clan. The heaven-devouring Demon Emperor is awesome. I heard that he's not only from the Sovereign Emperor clan, but he's also the son of the heaven-devouring Demon Lord. Among the 9 generations of Demon Lords, the heaven-devouring Demon Lord is probably the strongest Demon Lord. As the son of the heaven-devouring Demon Lord and a member of the Sovereign Emperor clan, you can imagine how strong the heaven-devouring Demon Emperor is. The cultivator continued, "Why did I hear that the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor is the grandson of the heaven-devouring Devil Lord?" Another cultivator said, "I heard that it's the 5th generation. Regardless of whether it's his son or grandson, the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor's achievements are incomparably astonishing. You can imagine how extraordinary the things he left behind are. Maybe there is the inheritance of the Sovereign Imperial Clan. If we can obtain the inheritance of the Sovereign Imperial Clan, we will be rich," the cultivator said. Hearing this, many nodded in agreement. If they could obtain the heaven-devouring Evil Lord's legacy, they would be rich. Perhaps it would be even more helpful to him than obtaining a powerful magic treasure. Everyone flew in the direction of the heaven-devouring secret realm with great anticipation. Kikik. Suddenly, a sinister laughter came from afar. Above the 9 heavens, demonic fog rolled. Clearly, a powerful devil was flying over from afar. A bunch of ants actually want to obtain the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor's legacy? What a joke. A disdainful voice came from the demonic fog. Many people were enraged. This Devil Dao cultivator was a bit too arrogant. Someone wanted to say something, but he was quickly stopped by someone else. "Why did you stop me?" his companion asked, puzzled. "That's Xin Yu, young master." The cultivator's companion said, "What? Xin Yu, young master?" Many people could not help but be shocked when they heard the name Xin Yu, young master. Xin Yu, young master. This was definitely a name that would shock anyone. Before the 8 young masters, there were also some people in the Undying Realm who were not much weaker than the 8 young masters at the same age. These people were known as the 10 heroes of the Undying Realm. The Undying Realm was a half-higher realm, so it was suppressed by the laws of heaven and earth. Of course, this suppression was far from comparable to the suppression of the mortal realm. Even so, this suppression was quite severe. Therefore, in order to nurture them, the top forces of the Undying Realm joined forces and sent a portion of their people to the Heaven Realm to cultivate. The 10 heroes of the Undying Realm were naturally among them. Therefore, one could imagine how powerful this group of people was. Even if the 8 young masters of the Undying Realm were to face Xin Yu, young master, they would still be fearful. This was also why the cultivators were so shocked and terrified when they heard that this person was Xin Yu, young master. Xin Yu, young master. He was someone they could not afford to offend. Xin Yu, young master naturally did not care about the cultivators below. He quickly left, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. After Xin Yu, young master left, someone sighed. 2 heroes in one sect. This situation is really rare. The cultivator sighed because Xin Yu, young master came from the 9 underworlds demon palace, and one of the 8 young masters of the Undying Realm, Shui Yu, young master, also came from the 9 underworlds demon palace. It was extremely rare for a sect to have 2 heaven-defying geniuses in an extremely short period of time. But the 9 underworlds demon palace made this a reality. If Xin Yu, young master, and Shui Yu, young master don't die, the 9 underworlds demon palace will definitely become unimaginably powerful in the future. A cultivator said, "Yes." Many people sighed. "I hope they die. These people of the demonic Tao are unpardonable evil. It's best if they all die." A cultivator said. Just as the cultivator finished speaking, his head suddenly flew into the sky. No one knew how that cultivator's head was cut off. The cultivator's corpse fell into the lake. Chapter 4984. Everyone else had a look of lingering fear on their faces. Luckily, they did not say anything, otherwise, they might have ended up like the dead cultivator. The rest of the people didn't dare to stay here any longer. They quickly flew towards the distance. Their speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared. Xin Gongzi was not the only powerful cultivator heading to the heaven-devouring secret realm. There were many experts, and Xin Gongzi was just one of them. There must be someone even stronger than young Master Xin Yu. After all, Xin Gongzi was still a young cultivator despite his strength. Now, experts with strong foundations were emerging. The Undying Realm had entered an era of experts. The three-headed viper quickly flew above the lake. Because the surface area of the Undying Realm was too big, even an inland lake was as big as a sea. This inland lake was so big that it would take a God Realm cultivator 100 years to cross it. From this, one could see how big this inland lake was. Lin Feng rested his head on Lung Zixi thigh. This pillow was really comfortable. Lung Zixi rested her chin on her hand and looked at Lin Feng, who was resting with his eyes closed. Lin Feng opened his eyes and smiled. You've been looking at me for so long. Tell me honestly, have you fallen in love with me? That's right. I love you so much. Can you give me that ancient demon weapon of yours as a token of our love? Lung Zixi giggled. Pretend I didn't say anything. Lin Feng said. Lung Zixi said. Looks like this isn't true love. You've hurt me deeply. Lin Feng pursed his lips. You still have the cheek to say that. I gave you the silver liquid in the porcelain bottle, but you didn't give it to me. You're really hurting me. Of course I can give it to you. I never said I wouldn't give it to you. I made it very clear. I'll give you the silver liquid, and you'll give me the ancient demon weapon. Lung Zixi said. Lin Feng could not help but pat his head speechlessly. It was naturally an extremely difficult task to obtain something from Lung Zixi, this little demoness. Lin Feng closed his eyes and went back to sleep. Lung Zixi said, How about we have a chat? What do you want to talk about? Lin Feng asked. Lung Zixi asked, Aren't you the Sinner's Blood Emperor? This means that you're from the Sovereign Emperor tribe. The Heaven-Devouring Devil Lord is also from the Sovereign Emperor tribe. The Heaven-Devouring Secret Realm is a secret realm left behind by the Heaven-Devouring Devil Lord. As a descendant of the Sovereign Emperor tribe, I believe that you'll be able to obtain the treasures left behind by the Heaven-Devouring Devil Lord. Thank you for your kind words, Lin Feng said. Lung Zixi said, When the time comes, don't forget to share half with me. Lin Feng said, I can give you half. As long as you serve me well, I'll give you as much as you want. Lung Zixi naturally knew what Lin Feng meant by serving her well. She immediately glared fiercely at Lin Feng. Then he said, You bastard. Your head is full of filthy thoughts. Lin Feng said, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. What did I say? You're slandering me like this. If I can't find a beautiful wife in the future, I'll rely on you. Lung Zixi giggled and said, If you can't find a beautiful wife, I'll introduce you to the great beauty next to my house, Ernyoer. Lin Feng said, Great beauty Ernyoer? Are you sure you're not tricking me? How can a great beauty be associated with such a weird name like Ernyoer? Lung Zixi smiled brilliantly and said, If there's a chance to go to the wasteland, I'll introduce you to Ernyo. I guarantee that you'll be moved. At this point, Lung Zixi actually laughed without any ladle-like demeanor. Conspiracy. There must be a conspiracy. Lin Feng felt that the great beauty Ernyo was definitely not a great beauty. How could a two-faced Lung Zixi introduce a great beauty to him? Unless the sun rose from the west. Half a month later, Lin Feng and Lung Zixi finally arrived at the Heaven-Devouring Secret Realm. The Heaven-Devouring Secret Realm was shrouded in immortal fog, floating above the lake. From afar, one could see cultivators flying towards the Heaven-Devouring Secret Realm. The opening of the Heaven-Devouring Secret Realm attracted a large number of cultivators. Before Lin Feng and Lung Zixi arrived, many people had already entered the Heaven-Devouring Secret Realm. Are we late? Lung Zixi said bitterly. Lin Feng said calmly, We're not late. Even if we're late, it's fine. If you want to take the things left behind by the Heaven-Devouring Evil Emperor, you'll need a token. That token is with me. Naturally, no one can take those things away. Lung Zixi said, What if others have other ways to enter the core area? Don't look down on the world. Lin Feng said, I'm confident in my ancestors' methods. Although he said that, Lin Feng still urged the three-headed viper to speed up. The three-headed viper flapped its wings and rushed towards the heaven-devouring secret realm. The heaven-devouring secret realm was huge. It had long been turned into a mini-world. It was said that when the heaven-devouring evil emperor created the heaven-devouring secret realm, he used it as a training ground in order to find a successor. Actually, there was no other way. There were too few people in the sovereign emperor's bloodline. Therefore, there were many times when they had to find other geniuses to inherit their orthodoxy. If such people grew up, they would be able to protect the bloodline of the sovereign emperor's bloodline. For example, the uncle that he had never met before. Back then, in order to protect him and his father, this uncle had died tragically in the extraterritorial world. This uncle's ancestor was saved by the ancestor of the sovereign emperor's bloodline. They were half disciple and half servant. Since then, this uncle's ancestor had been protecting the sovereign emperor's bloodline. Later on, their bloodline was even given the surname Ji. It was clear that the sovereign emperor's bloodline treated them like family. In the past, the heaven-devouring secret realm was used by the heaven-devouring demon emperor as a training ground to select his successor. Therefore, there were still many opportunities in this place. Most of them were deliberately created by the heaven-devouring demon emperor. After countless years, those opportunities were still scattered all over the heaven-devouring secret realm. Now that a large number of cultivators had arrived, if they were lucky, they would naturally be able to find those opportunities. If not, they were destined to return empty-handed from the heaven-devouring secret realm. Chapter 4985. After countless years of development, the heaven-devouring secret realm had undergone earth-shaking changes. A small world like this could gradually evolve, especially when the person who created this small world was such a powerful existence. It was the same for the small world in front of them. As time passed, the small world formed by the heaven-devouring secret realm had gradually evolved into a middle-grade world. Therefore, this small world was full of vitality, and there were many powerful, fierce beasts living here. It was very dangerous to search for opportunities in this small world, because one would have to face the threat of those fierce beasts at any time and place. Those fierce beasts were very powerful, and if one was not careful, they could be killed by those fierce beasts. This was something that had to be taken seriously. However, Lin Feng and Lung Zishi were both skilled and daring existences, so they were not afraid at all. Ordinary opportunities could not attract Lin Feng. Lin Feng's target was the core treasure left behind by his ancestor, the heaven-devouring evil emperor. He took out the token, but it didn't fluctuate at all. Lung Zishi looked at the token in Lin Feng's hand and said, "Could this token be the token to enter the core area?" Yes. When we came out of the heaven-devouring secret realm, there was a brief disturbance. Now, it has calmed down. How strange, Lin Feng said. Lung Zishi said, "Once we find the core area, we will know if this token is useful." Lin Feng nodded. In fact, he was not sure if this token was useful. After all, Lin Feng had heard about the use of this token from rumors. He did not know the specific situation. Therefore, this token, it might be useful or it might not. Whether the rumors were true or not, he would only know after verifying it. The core area was generally located in the depths. Therefore, Lin Feng and Lung Zishi kept flying in that direction. 5 days later, they heard a group of cultivators talking about the situation in the depths. It was said that there was a huge mountain range that was shrouded in restrictions. It seemed to be the place where the heaven-devouring evil emperor had fallen. Many top experts had gone there. As for ordinary cultivators, there were also many who went there to watch the show, but most of them did not go there. They were still scattered around the heaven-devouring secret realm in search of opportunities. Those that could be obtained were the most important. No matter how good the opportunities in the depths were, what was the use if they could not obtain them? When Lin Feng and Lung Zishi arrived, they saw many cultivators besieging the restrictions of the mountain range. Lin Feng saw some familiar figures, such as Yueshin, the son of Dong Huang, the blood-haired woman, Rotten Corpse, Huang Fu Qing Tian, Great Demon Yu, Young Master Shui Yu, Young Master Xing Yu, and even Young Master Ming Yu. Young Master Mingyu was not in the 8th-level palace when they destroyed it. Otherwise, they could have killed young Master Mingyu together. This guy was still a big threat. Lin Feng felt that it was a pity. At that time, the ancient demon weapon was activated. It was also the best time to kill young Master Mingyu. If they missed that opportunity, Lin Feng knew that it would be much more difficult to kill young Master Mingyu. Apart from those people, there were also many strong cultivators. For example, Lin Feng saw a few monks with 10 light rings behind their heads. They looked like ancient Buddhists. Those monks were probably Buddhist cultivators from the Western Celestial region. There were also many experts that Lin Feng did not recognize. Many of them were experts with strong foundations. They should be top experts from various major forces. More and more people arrived. However, the restrictions protecting the mountain range were too powerful. Thus, it was not easy to break through the restrictions. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. This ancestor of his was really an amazing figure. In fact, Lin Feng didn't know much about the heaven-devouring evil emperor. There were many rumors about the heaven-devouring evil emperor. Some rumors said that the heaven-devouring evil emperor was the son of the heaven-devouring evil lord. Some said that the heaven-devouring evil emperor was the grandson of the heaven-devouring evil lord. Some said that the heaven-devouring evil emperor was the 5th generation of the heaven-devouring evil lord's descendant. In the past, Lin Feng had met the monstrous emperor of the absolute beginning demon clan. The monstrous emperor had received guidance from the heaven-devouring evil emperor. At that time, the monstrous emperor had said that the heaven-devouring evil emperor was the 5th generation of the heaven-devouring evil lord's descendant. He wasn't certain because it was just his guess. After all, the sovereign imperial clan was too mysterious. The death of his ancestor was still a mystery to this day. According to Lin Feng's knowledge, the deaths of the heaven-devouring evil emperor and the heaven-devouring evil emperor seemed to be related to the destruction of the Devil Pagoda. However, Lin Feng didn't know whether it was related or not. Back then, Lin Feng didn't know the details from the Devil Pagoda. "I'm here. Lord Devil Pagoda is here." Just as Lin Feng was thinking, a loud shout came from afar. Then, a Devil Pagoda flew over and slammed into the mountain range's restrictions. It was a damaged Devil Pagoda. In the past, the Devil Pagoda had been split into 2. Therefore, each Devil Pagoda only had a part of its body left. In the beginning, the Devil Pagoda only had 1 Devil Pagoda spirit. However, as time passed, the other Devil Pagoda spirit also appeared. The 2 Devil Pagoda spirits wanted to devour each other. That way, they would be able to fuse into one and their battle prowess would increase greatly. However, it seemed that the 2 Devil Pagoda spirits hadn't completely fused. This guy should be the first Devil Pagoda. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. The first Devil Pagoda spirit was more down to earth. The second Devil Pagoda spirit's personality was extremely cold. Therefore, when the second Devil Pagoda spirit arrived, it wouldn't make a fuss. Devil Pagoda. It's the legendary Devil Pagoda. When they saw the Devil Pagoda, many people cried out in shock. It would appear that some of them knew about the legend of the Devil Pagoda. The Devil Pagoda was very mysterious and contained countless secrets. If one could obtain the Devil Pagoda, it would be a heaven-defying opportunity. It was said that the one who obtained the Devil Pagoda could become a supreme expert. In this epoch, the cultivators who obtained the Devil Pagoda had indeed become the pinnacle existences. This was also why so many people were so crazy about the Devil Pagoda. Many people wanted to obtain the Devil Pagoda, but how could it be so easy? The Devil Pagoda had appeared a few times in the past. However, the Devil Pagoda was too powerful and no one could suppress it. Thus, when the Devil Pagoda appeared again, no one went forward to subdue it. Chapter 4986. The demonic pagoda has been split into 2. It seems that both of them have a complete divine consciousness. A cultivator said, "Yes, these 2 guys are quite abnormal and terrifying. Their combat strength can be described as heaven-defying. I heard that many true immortals have tried to take the demonic pagoda but failed." Someone exclaimed, "The demonic pagoda is full of mysteries and its origin is unknown." The cultivators who controlled the demonic pagoda in the past all became supreme experts. This shows how extraordinary the demonic pagoda is. Although the demonic pagoda has been split into two and its combat strength has been greatly reduced, it is not something that anyone can touch, including those true immortals. An old cultivator said. His knowledge of the demonic pagoda was far beyond others. In fact, the old monk's words were extremely correct. Although the demonic pagoda was very tempting and people couldn't help but want to subdue it, it was almost no different from courting death if one rashly tried to subdue it without the strength to do so. Bang, bang, bang. The two demonic pagoda collided with the protective restriction that enveloped the demonic mountain again and again. This restriction was very powerful. Therefore, even with the addition of the two demonic pagoda, it was extremely unrealistic to destroy the restriction in a short time. Of course, as time passed, the restriction would be destroyed. This was something that everyone knew very well. Lin Feng could not help but feel a little apprehensive. In the past, his ancestors, the heaven-devouring demon lord and the heaven-devouring demon emperor, had controlled the demonic pagoda one after another. There was a deep connection between them. However, it was obvious that the demonic pagoda was no longer the demonic pagoda of the past. Moreover, the demonic pagoda's attitude towards him was hostile. Perhaps it was because it was used to being free and did not want to be restrained by others. Moreover, he was the heaven-devouring demon lord, the descendant of the heaven-devouring demon emperor. The spirit of the demonic pagoda was worried that he would become their new master, so it was hostile towards him. Lin Feng felt that he had to act. If he did not act now, when the restriction was broken, with so many experts, it would be hard to say who would own the things left by his ancestors. Lin Feng looked at Lung Zishi beside him and said, "Let's go. Let's enter the depths of the mountain range. Your token is not moving. Will we be unable to enter after we go there? If we can't enter, we will be in trouble," Lung Zishi said bitterly. Lin Feng had discussed a lot of things with him before, including some of his enemies, so Lung Zishi had a better understanding of Lin Feng's enemies. If Lin Feng appeared, who knew how many strong enemies would be attracted to attack? Lin Feng said, "Yo, the fearless little witch actually had times when she was worried and scared? What a rare sight." After hearing Lin Feng's words, Lung Zishi immediately straightened her chest and said, "I'm afraid? I've grown up, but I don't know how to spell the word fear." "All right, let's go then," Lin Feng said. Then, with a wave of his hand, a powerful magic power surged out and wrapped around Lung Zishi. He quickly flew in the direction of Demon Mountain. "Look, isn't that Lin Feng? It really is Lin Feng. He and Yun Tianyu had just destroyed Baji Palace, but he still dares to swagger out. How audacious." It's said that the remnants of Baji Palace have already issued missions to many assassin forces to kill Lin Feng. Anyone who can kill Lin Feng will be rewarded with 1 billion immortal stones. What? 1 billion immortal stones? Oh my god. Isn't that too much? That's why many assassin forces have already been mobilized, preparing to assassinate Lin Feng. Those assassins are hiding in the dark. They might ambush you or poison you. Their methods are endless. Who knows, they might really be able to kill Lin Feng. The remnants of Baji Palace have announced that anyone who kills Lin Feng will be rewarded with 1 billion immortal stones. This doesn't only apply to assassin dynasties, but also to us. What a tempting reward. However, we don't have the ability to kill Lin Feng. Di Wudao and the Heavenly Court have also increased the bounty. Di Wudao's bounty is 300 million immortal stones and 2 immortal tools. The Heavenly Court's bounty is 500 million immortal stones and 3 immortal tools. Anyone who can kill Lin Feng will not only receive the bounty from Baji Palace, but also crown Prince Di Wudao in the Heavenly Court. Don't say it. Please don't say it. Brother, if you keep talking, I won't be able to resist the urge to assassinate Lin Feng. Many cultivators began to discuss. As the saying went, men die for wealth and birds die for food. Therefore, even though many knew that assassinating Lin Feng was an extremely dangerous task, they were still willing to take the risk. After Lin Feng's identity was exposed, many people looked at Lin Feng. Many people looked at Lin Feng with dense killing intent. For example, young Master Mingyu, young Master Xingyu, young Master Shuiyu, Huangfu Qingtian, and the others hated Lin Feng to the bone. Naturally, they wanted to kill Lin Feng. There were also people who gnashed their teeth in hatred. For example, Great Demon Yu hated Lin Feng to the core. Now that she recalled what had happened with Lin Feng, she still couldn't believe that she had been eaten by Lin Feng. She simply couldn't accept it. Some people had already rushed towards Lin Feng, wanting to deal with Lin Feng. Lin Feng naturally knew that some people wanted to deal with him. Moreover, he had long been on guard against these people. Therefore, when these people rushed over, Lin Feng also increased his speed. As Long Zishi had said before, it would be very bad if he was surrounded by these people. When he got close to the Devil Mountain, Lin Feng found that the token was emitting waves of violent fluctuations. Lin Feng couldn't help but be happy. This meant that the token could play a key role. With the token in hand, he rushed to the outer region of the Devil Mountain before the others could surround him. Lin Feng didn't slow down at all and directly slammed into the restrictions outside the mountain. Is Lin Feng crazy? Many people couldn't help but murmur. Those restrictions were very powerful. The most likely result of such a collision was that he would be repelled by the restrictions. If he received a backlash from the restrictions, he might even be injured by the restrictions. Therefore, when they saw Lin Feng directly slamming into the restrictions, they couldn't understand why Lin Feng would do such a thing. At this time, everyone saw that after Lin Feng's body slammed into the restrictions outside the Devil Mountain, the token in his hand emitted a devilish light. This devilish light wrapped around Lin Feng and the woman beside him. In the next moment, Lin Feng and Long Zishi rushed into the Devil Mountain. Damn it, that brat went in. Chapter 4987. That brat is the descendant of the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor. I'm not surprised that he has the token to enter the Devil Mountain. A cultivator said, so what if he's the descendant of the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor? Any opportunity that appears in front of the world can be obtained by anyone. Someone said with a sneer. At this time, another person said, let's try our best to break the restriction and enter the mountain. If we can't break the restriction, we'll wait for that brat to come out. When he comes out, we'll kill him. At that time, his opportunities, treasures, wealth, and other things will all be ours. The cultivator who said this was none other than Huangfu Qingtian. His hatred for Lin Feng could not be washed away by the water of the four seas. Therefore, he naturally wanted to find an opportunity to kill Lin Feng. At that moment, he wanted everybody to join hands and kill Lin Feng. Then let's kill him. Young Master Mingyu said coldly. Lin Feng had joined forces with Yun Tianyu and the others to destroy the Baji Palace. This kind of hatred was absolutely irreconcilable. Everyone naturally knew that young Master Mingyu hated Lin Feng deeply. Therefore, they felt that it was very normal to see young Master Mingyu stand out. At this time, it would be strange if young Master Mingyu did not come out to encourage everyone to deal with Lin Feng. That's right. Let's join forces to kill Lin Feng. Let's grind his bones and scatter his ashes. The Great Demon Yu said. Many people came out one after another, wanting to join forces to deal with Lin Feng. There were also many people who did not want to participate. They did not want to offend Lin Feng, such as the experts of the Western Heaven Immortal Sect. They all knew that Zhang Wentian and Lin Feng were on good terms. There was no need to fall out with Lin Feng because of some opportunities. Obviously, they would gain more benefits by cooperating with Lin Feng. Lin Feng did not know what was going on outside. Now, he and Long Zishi were quickly rushing towards the depths of the Devil Mountain. They entered a cave in the depths. This cave was full of life. The reason for this was because there were all kinds of living utensils in this cave. For example, there were pots and pans for cooking, as well as some tea sets and so on. This should be the place where the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor used to live. Speaking of which, your ancestor is quite interesting. As a cultivator, he actually started a fire to cook? Are cultivators not allowed to eat? You should know that there are many foodies in this world. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said. He was also a foodie and knew how to cook. However, Long Zishi hadn't tasted Lin Feng's cooking yet. After Long Zishi tasted Lin Feng's cooking, he was sure that this little girl would cry and beg him to cook for her. Lin Feng said, one must have a sense of life. Life is not just about cultivation. Long Zishi said with a smile, okay, I want to experience life with you. That's easy. Let's roll in the sheets later, Lin Feng said with a smile. Go to hell. Lung Zishi threw a punch at Lin Feng, but Lin Feng quickly jumped away. He walked towards a stone room. There was nothing valuable in the main cave, so Lin Feng hoped that there would be some good stuff in the stone rooms. Lin Feng was also thinking about something else. Was the corpse of his ancestor, the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor, still here? In the past, the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor's natal treasure, the heaven-devouring jar, had been destroyed. From this, one could see how tragic that battle was. After that battle, the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor disappeared. The reason for that battle, and whether the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor had died in that battle, had become a mystery. However, Lin Feng guessed that the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor might have died in that battle. His mood was somewhat gloomy. Lin Feng pushed open the stone door of a stone room and entered. Lung Zishi ran in and said, "There's a stone bed. It seems to be a place to rest. Hey, look, there are 2 worn-out pillows on the stone bed and a dressing table. There's a woman living here. Your ancestor really knows how to enjoy life. When he lived here in seclusion, he even kept a mistress in a golden house. Maybe that woman is my ancestor's wife. If that's the case, that woman is also my ancestor. So, you better watch your words. If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll execute you on the spot," Lin Feng said fiercely. Lung Zishi opened her mouth to say something, but when she thought of Lin Feng's gloomy mood, she did not say anything to provoke Lin Feng. After all, this might be the place where his ancestor died. Anyone who went to the place where their ancestor died would not be in a good mood. I won't lower myself to your level. Lung Zishi comforted herself in her heart. Lin Feng did not find anything valuable in this room, so he walked out and opened the second stone room. The second stone room was an alchemy room. There were many porcelain bottles here. Lin Feng walked to the shelf, opened a porcelain bottle, and smelled it. He could not help but sigh. The elixir inside had been destroyed. It was a pity. Lung Zishi also checked it and said, "So many elixirs were destroyed just like that. It really makes people want to cry but have no tears." Lin Feng also had the same feeling. These elixirs were definitely some top-notch elixirs, but they were destroyed just like that. Anyone who saw it would feel heartache. However, at this point, what was done could not be undone. There was no use in feeling heartache. Lin Feng kept the elixirs. Lung Zishi said, "These elixirs have already become useless. Why did you collect them?" Lin Feng said, "I can feed them to the insect swarm. The effect should be good." Lin Feng then left the stone room and went to the third stone room. As soon as he opened the third stone room, Lin Feng felt a violent fluctuation coming from the stone room. Lin Feng looked inside and saw a treasure floating in the stone room. It was an ancient war spear. That war spear emitted waves of destructive energy waves. Epic war spear. The demon lord flew out of the demon bead and looked at the war spear with a shocked expression. "Demon lord, is this epic war spear very famous?" Lin Feng asked in surprise. "It's famous. Of course it's famous. The sovereign progenitor used the collapse of the previous epoch and the birth of this epoch to forge this war spear. Although it's not an ancient weapon, many ancient weapons are not as strong as this war spear. It's also a top-notch treasure passed down by the sovereign progenitor clan. I never thought that this war spear would fall into the hands of the heaven-devouring Devil Emperor." Chapter 4988. Upon hearing the demon lord's words, Lin Feng was shocked. The epical war spear was so powerful? Even now, Lin Feng still couldn't figure out how these weapons were categorized. For example, ancient weapons. Lin Feng knew that ancient weapons were supreme treasures that surpassed saint weapons, but he didn't know how they were categorized. Lung Zishi said, "Wow, this treasure is so powerful. I don't think you can find many such powerful treasures in the wasteland. Lin Feng, why don't you give this treasure to me as a token of your love?" "Since when were we in love? Why didn't I know about it?" Lin Feng curled his lips and said. He looked at the demon lord and asked, "Demon lord, how are these ancient weapons categorized?" The demon lord said, "Ancient weapons are the top weapons among all weapons. There are no other weapons that can surpass the might of ancient weapons. Of course, there are some weapons in this world that aren't ancient weapons, but their might can reach the level of ancient weapons. These weapons are very special. You can't forge them just because you want to. These weapons are forged by chance or under certain conditions, such as the epical war spear passed down by the Sovereign Emperor clan. In fact, there are some things that I don't need to tell you. Even if you don't know, you should have some doubts in your heart. For example, the Sovereign Emperor clan isn't a race from this era. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Indeed, I know about that." He paused for a moment and continued, "The Undying clan isn't a power of this era as well. However, they've overcome the suppression of the laws of this era. So, their cultivations won't fall even if they cross eras." Yes, the Demon Lord nodded. Then, the Demon Lord continued, "However, there are differences between different races. For example, among the races that have crossed eras, some are kind and good, some are both good and evil, and some are evil. This is the biggest difference. Apart from that, there are also great differences in strength between the races that have crossed eras. For example, many races that have crossed eras have to go into hibernation after the destruction of the old era and the birth of the new era. They don't dare to show themselves because if they are discovered by the laws of heaven and earth, they will be killed mercilessly. In fact, even during the first few eras of the new era, the laws of heaven and earth are very unstable. Therefore, those races that have crossed eras didn't dare to show themselves. If they show themselves when the laws of heaven and earth are unstable, their families might be killed mercilessly. This has happened many times. So those races that have crossed eras are very careful. But obviously, your ancestor wasn't afraid of these things. Therefore, he can still be very active during the destruction and birth of an era. He even dares to use the power of the destruction and birth of an era to forge a supreme treasure. I have seen 3 treasures like the Era War Spear. This is the 4th one. It's not an ancient weapon, but it's comparable to some of the top ancient weapons. It seems that everything that you have come here is fate. Now, go and collect this supreme treasure." Lin Feng nodded and walked towards the Era War Spear. However, an invisible force pushed Lin Feng back. Although the invisible force didn't harm Lin Feng's body, it prevented Lin Feng from getting closer. This made Lin Feng's expression turn ugly. What's going on? Could it be that this supreme treasure doesn't belong to me? Thinking of this, Lin Feng had the urge to vomit blood. Even the Demon Lord couldn't help but frown slightly. After all, the Demon Lord didn't have the experience of refining such a weapon. Lung Zishi giggled and said, "It seems that I have fate with this war spear. Let me give it a try." Lung Zishi walked towards the Era War Spear. Buzz. Suddenly, the Era War Spear shook slightly. Then, an invisible force blasted towards Lung Zishi. After feeling the invisible force, Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. "Danger! Danger! Danger! Quickly dodge!" Lin Feng shouted and rushed towards Lung Zishi. Lung Zishi was completely scared out of her wits. After being enveloped by the invisible force, she felt like she was dead. Even with Lin Feng's speed, it was too late to save Lung Zishi. The invisible force blasted Lung Zishi's body directly. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel pain in his heart. Lung Zishi, this little girl, was probably dead. He felt a little depressed. So depressed that he found it hard to breathe. However, at this critical juncture, the jade pendant on Lung Zishi's waist suddenly lit up. Then, a ray of sacred light protected Lung Zishi. Bang! Lung Zishi was blasted out and her body hit the rock wall heavily. Wah! In the next moment, Lung Zishi was so scared that she cried. To be able to make Lung Zishi, this little demoness, cry was truly a rare thing. Lin Feng walked over and patted Lung Zishi's shoulder. "You scared me to death. I thought I was going to die." Lung Zishi hugged Lin Feng and said, Originally, Lin Feng wanted to gloat. However, after thinking about it, he didn't say those words. Lung Zishi was really scared to death. It was really fortunate that she was able to survive. Lin Feng said, "It's okay." Lung Zishi used Lin Feng's clothes to wipe her tears and got up from the ground. However, her eyes were filled with fear when she looked at the epic war spear. Lin Feng glanced at the jade pendant on Lung Zishi's waist. The jade pendant was really powerful. It actually blocked the attack of the epic war spear. Lin Feng guessed that Lung Zixi background was extraordinary. Now, it seemed that his guess was right. Lung Zixi's background was really extraordinary. Of course, Lin Feng didn't ask too much. He looked at the epic war spear again. Now, Lin Feng's mind was filled with thoughts of how to obtain the epic war spear. Maybe you can sacrifice the blood of an imperial sovereign to the epic war spear. Let the epic war spear know that you are from the imperial sovereign clan. This way, you might be recognized by the epic war spear. The demon lord thought of an idea and said. Lin Feng nodded and began to chant the incantation of the great sacrificial art. The descendant of the imperial sovereign clan, Lin Feng, is willing to sacrifice my imperial sovereign blood to the epic war spear. I hope to fight side by side with the epic war spear and restore the glory of the imperial sovereign clan. Lin Feng released a drop of ruler's great imperial blood from his finger. The drop of ruler's great imperial blood appeared in the air and started burning. Chapter 49-89. After the epical war spear absorbed the sovereign blood's energy, Lin Feng clearly felt a very special aura emanating from the epical war spear. This aura gave Lin Feng a very intimate feeling. After feeling this aura, Lin Feng couldn't help but be happy. It seemed like the epical war spear had formed a connection with him after absorbing the sovereign blood's energy. Lin Feng didn't stop and continued to sacrifice his sovereign blood. After sacrificing 10 drops, Lin Feng and the epical war spear finally formed a very close connection. This was a bloodline connection. Lin Feng walked towards the epical war spear step by step. At this time, the epical war spear seemed to have sensed Lin Feng's aura and began to vibrate violently. After feeling the vibrations, Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. The epical war spear was very important to him. It wasn't only a magic treasure, but also a symbol of the sovereign imperial clan. This time, the epical war spear didn't stop Lin Feng from approaching. Lin Feng smoothly arrived next to the epical war spear and reached out to grab it. Clang! Lin Feng grabbed the epical war spear. When Lin Feng's hand touched the epical war spear, countless runes appeared on the surface. Lin Feng felt as if the epical war spear had turned into an extension of his body. Lin Feng tried to activate the epical war spear. His magic power continuously poured into the epical war spear. The epical war spear's aura became stronger and stronger. Moreover, the epical war spear spewed out a spear light. Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised after seeing this. He could actually activate the epical war spear. This was completely different from using other ancient weapons. In order to activate an ancient weapon, one needed to break through to the true immortal realm to be able to activate a little bit of the weapon's power. However, the epical war spear wasn't like this. Although the epical war spear was stronger than other ancient weapons, it was a supreme treasure passed down by the sovereign imperial clan. Therefore, the conditions for activating this supreme treasure weren't as restrictive as the other ancient weapons. Of course, this was mainly because Lin Feng had the sovereign imperial bloodline flowing in his veins. If others were to activate the epical war spear, they wouldn't be able to get close to it, let alone activate it. How do you feel? Demon Lord asked. Lin Feng replied, I can feel the power of the epical war spear. Although I can't, with my current cultivation, I can only unleash a small portion of its power. But even so, a small portion of its power is its power. But it's enough. It's terrifying enough. How long can you last? Demon Lord asked. Lin Feng smiled wryly. I think it won't last long. Lung Zixi said. A man should never say that he can hold on for a short time. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. Lung Zixi was really capable of saying anything. The title of Little Witch, she really lived up to her name. Now, in addition to the title of Little Witch, it seemed like she should be called Little Dirty Woman to match her temperament. Of course, Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with Lung Zixi right now. Now that he had obtained the epical war spear, Lin Feng was in a good mood. Don't worry. As your cultivation increases, your magical power will become stronger and stronger. The time you can activate the epical war spear will also increase. Although the epical war spear can't be used as a conventional weapon, since you can activate it, you can at least use it as a trump card. Demon Lord said. Lin Feng nodded. In fact, Even if he could activate the epical war spear as he wished, Lin Feng wouldn't always rely on it. He still needed to rely on himself. Relying on powerful magical treasures would be detrimental to his cultivation. Lin Feng kept the epical war spear and walked towards the fourth stone chamber. Lin Feng opened the fourth stone chamber and found many jade cylinders and scrolls. Clearly, there were many inheritances here. Lin Feng looked at Lung Zishi and said, "Go and see if there's anything you like. Imprint it." "Hee, that's great. I hope there's a top-notch divine ability," Lung Zishi said with a smile. She began to look at the inheritances. Some of the jade cylinders were damaged, and some of the scroll's contents were missing due to the passage of time. Seeing this, Lin Feng was naturally depressed. Fortunately, most of the jade cylinders and scrolls were in relatively good condition. These jade cylinders and scrolls were made of special materials, and with the support of divine power, they could be preserved for a longer time than pills. Lin Feng also looked at the jade cylinders and scrolls. He found that the inheritances recorded were indeed top-notch divine abilities. However, there weren't any top-notch divine abilities, such as the all-true Buddhas, Emperor's Scriptures, Six Paths of Reincarnation Fist, Emptiness of Eternity, Dragon Emperor's Roar, and so on. Of course, these divine abilities that Lin Feng mentioned could only be found by chance. Perhaps the ultimate divine abilities created by the heaven-devouring evil emperor could reach this level. However, there were no ultimate divine abilities created by the heaven-devouring evil emperor. Lin Feng felt that it was a pity. However, there was still one last chamber. The heaven-devouring evil emperor seemed to have passed away in that chamber. "I want this, and this," Lung Zishi said. Lung Zishi, on the other hand, was very happy to choose the divine ability inheritances. Although the divine ability inheritances here were not the most powerful, there were still some divine abilities that made people's hearts palpitate. Lung Zishi chose a dozen divine abilities, and then she imprinted them. Lin Feng then put away the jade cylinders and scrolls that recorded the inheritances. After that, Lin Feng arrived in front of the last room and opened the door. There was a huge black cauldron in the chamber. Apart from that, there was nothing else. "My ancestor didn't pass away here?" Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. The demon lord nodded and said, "That seems to be the case." "How strange." Lin Feng frowned even more. Lung Zishi said, "Your ancestor might not have died back then. Anyway, no one saw him die. The news about your ancestor's death is all hearsay." Chapter 4990. Lin Feng naturally did not wish for his ancestor to die. However, his ancestor had indeed disappeared for countless years. In addition, his natal magic treasure had been shattered in the previous battle. One could imagine how tragic that battle was. Therefore, was it possible that his ancestor was not dead? Lung Zishi said, "So many years have passed. Don't think about those things. Quickly go and see what's in that giant cauldron." Lin Feng came back to his senses and nodded. He walked towards the giant cauldron. Then, Lin Feng opened the giant cauldron. Lin Feng looked at the giant cauldron in shock. It was actually half a cauldron of golden liquid. However, Lin Feng did not know what the golden liquid was. However, since it was the liquid left behind by his ancestor, it meant that the liquid should be extremely extraordinary. "What is this? Can I drink it?" Lung Zishi stared at the golden liquid in the giant cauldron with wide eyes. Lin Feng said with a smile, "Why don't you try it? Try the poison and see what effect it has." Lung Zishi immediately gritted her teeth. She looked at Lin Feng fiercely and said, "I don't want to drink it. You big baddie, you only know how to bully me." After venting her anger, she ignored Lin Feng angrily. Lin Feng said, "I was just joking with you. Why take it so seriously? I was wrong, okay? I apologize to you." Lung Zishi said, "Since your apology is so sincere, this young miss is not such a petty person. I'll forgive you this time." Lin Feng could not help but laugh. Lung Zishi's personality was actually quite interesting. Although she would get angry sometimes, she was easy to coax. Moreover, Lung Zishi was definitely not someone who pestered endlessly. The demon lord said, I feel that this spirit liquid is a kind of spirit liquid that can temper the body or evolve the bloodline. Could it be that it can evolve the sovereign's emperor blood? You can try circulating your sovereign emperor's blood and see if it can sense the liquid. Lin Feng nodded and began to circulate his sovereign emperor's blood. When Lin Feng's sovereign emperor's blood began to circulate, something shocking happened. Lin Feng discovered that his sovereign emperor's blood began to stir. This kind of stir was exactly the same as when one was about to break through. Lin Feng's face lit up. This feeling was really too comfortable. Lin Feng knew that it was the golden liquid inside the giant cauldron. Just as the demon lord had said, the golden liquid could help his bloodline evolve. Seeing Lin Feng's joyful expression, the demon lord knew that the golden liquid could help Lin Feng's bloodline evolve again. The demon lord smiled and said, "You can refine the golden liquid and see if it can help you evolve. If the sovereign emperor's blood evolves a third time, it will definitely be extraordinary." Lin Feng nodded heavily. He was looking forward to seeing the sovereign emperor's blood evolve a third time. When the sovereign emperor's blood evolved a second time, Lin Feng had obtained great benefits. As for what benefits the third evolution would bring, Lin Feng did not know. He would know once the evolution was complete. The demon lord returned to the demon bead. He was the guiding light on Lin Feng's cultivation path, so Lin Feng was filled with gratitude towards the demon lord. Lin Feng looked at Lung Zishi and said, "I'll be in seclusion for a while. Wait for me outside." Although Lung Zishi usually liked to cause trouble, she knew when to advance and retreat. She was a person who knew right from wrong. She nodded and walked out of the stone room. Lin Feng jumped into the giant cauldron and began to circulate his sovereign emperor's blood. The first two awakenings of the sovereign emperor's blood had awakened offensive abilities. For example, during the first awakening, he had awakened the sovereign's blade. The second awakening, he had awakened the sovereign's blade. The sovereign's blade within Lin Feng's Dantian was extremely powerful. It was one of Lin Feng's trump cards. In addition, the sovereign's blade within Lin Feng's Dantian could sense the sovereign's blade. It could communicate with the sovereign's blade and borrow its power to fight. At this time, the sovereign's blade within Lin Feng's Dantian would become much more powerful. In the future, he might be able to use the sovereign's blade to find the sovereign's blade. If he could do that, it would be a great opportunity. As the sovereign emperor's blood circulated, a large amount of spirit liquid was absorbed by Lin Feng's body. The spirit liquid was refined into the purest energy, which fused with Lin Feng's sovereign emperor's blood. Under the subtle influence of the special energy, the sovereign emperor's blood began to transform. Lin Feng was overjoyed. He could clearly feel the changes in his body, which made him extremely happy. Lin Feng spent 3 days to completely refine and absorb the spirit liquid. Lin Feng's sovereign emperor's blood finally completed its third transformation. When Lin Feng's sovereign emperor's blood completed its third transformation, a Dao Palace condensed within Lin Feng's Dantian. When he saw the Dao Palace, Lin Feng was stunned. He had thought of countless possibilities, but he hadn't thought that the sovereign emperor's blood would condense a Dao Palace within his Dantian. Lin Feng tried to use his divine sense to probe the Dao Palace. When Lin Feng's divine sense entered the Dao Palace, he immediately discovered that there was a world of darkness within the Dao Palace. This made Lin Feng even more confused. He didn't know why this was happening. The Palace of the Holy Ji is already puzzling me. Why is the Palace of the Holy Ji pitch black? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. Lin Feng planned to ask the Demon Lord if the Demon Lord knew the reason. "Demon Lord, my sovereign emperor's blood has completed its third awakening. A Dao Palace has appeared within my Dantian. This Dao Palace appeared after my sovereign emperor's blood's third awakening. I originally wanted to see what was so special about this Dao Palace, but when I entered, I discovered that the Dao Palace was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. Hurry up and take a look. What's going on?" Lin Feng transmitted his voice to the Demon Lord. After hearing Lin Feng's transmission, the Demon Lord disappeared from the demonic bead. In the next moment, the Demon Lord arrived in Lin Feng's Dantian and flew into the Dao Palace. Chapter 4991. Of course, the Demon Lord's voice did not escape Lin Feng's ears. What did the Demon Lord's exclamation mean? Did it mean anything? Did the Demon Lord know what was inside? Or did he know what was so special about this temple? Thinking of this, Lin Feng was overjoyed. If that was really the case, then that would be great. He would ask the demon lord about the temple later. The demon lord quickly flew out of the temple and returned to the demon orb. Lin Feng asked, "Demon lord, did you see anything?" The demon lord was silent for a moment, then said, "Let nature take its course. Don't deliberately try to find out what is inside." This, Lin Feng frowned. What did the demon lord mean by this? Why did it feel like a warning to him? Or perhaps it was a kind reminder. The demon lord seemed to be afraid of something. What did he see in the temple? Logically speaking, that was a temple that appeared after his bloodline awakened. No matter what was inside, it shouldn't harm him, right? However, the demon lord's words made Lin Feng somewhat apprehensive, and he couldn't help but fall into deep thought. The demon lord's words were obviously hinting at something, but the demon lord didn't want to say it out loud. This was what made Lin Feng feel the most helpless. If the demon lord didn't want to say it, he couldn't force the demon lord to say it, right? Moreover, if the demon lord didn't want to say it, then no matter how much he asked, it was useless. Lin Feng said, "All right, I'll let nature take its course. I won't force this matter." "Good. Remember what you said? It's best if you keep it in your heart. Don't forget it," the demon lord reminded. Lin Feng nodded and said, "I will keep it in my heart." The demon lord's expression changed, and then he hid his body. Inside the demon orb, there were only lonely tombs. It seemed that the demon lord didn't want to communicate with him anymore. Maybe he was afraid that she would ask him about the Holyji Palace again. As such, was he hiding from him? Lin Feng had a lot of questions about the Holyji Palace, but if the demon lord didn't want to talk about it, Lin Feng wouldn't ask. Just like what the demon lord had said, letting nature take its course might be the best choice. Whoosh! Lin Feng took out the evil corpse ring. Now that Lin Feng had broken through to the sixth heavenly layer of the human immortal stage, he could naturally try to break the seals on the evil corpse ring. Previously, Lin Feng had been quite busy, so he didn't have time to open the evil corpse ring. But now, he had the time to do so. There were 9 types of fierce beast runes in the evil corpse ring, and 8 of them had been successfully broken by Lin Feng. These 8 fierce beast runes that Lin Feng had successfully broken were the Sky-Splitting Centipede, Scarlet Flame Golden Centipede, Ice-Armored Horned Demon Dragon, 8-Clawed Fire Centipede, 9-Winged Sky Dragon, Thunderbat Dragon, Blue-Winged Sea Dragon, and Sea-Splitting Mysterious Dragon Whale. The Kuei Cow Fierce Beast rune had not been broken by Lin Feng yet. Lin Feng had spent so much time breaking the seal on the evil corpse ring, so he naturally wanted to know what good things were in the evil corpse ring. Presumably, the good things in the evil corpse ring must be incomparably heaven-defying, right? Lin Feng began to break the evil corpse ring's 9th Fierce Beast rune. The 9th Fierce Beast rune was also very complicated, but it wasn't able to stump Lin Feng. Following Lin Feng's breakthrough, his understanding of the Celestial Master Path's inheritance and Grandao had also deepened. So, in the end, Lin Feng had successfully broken the Kuei Cow Fierce Beast rune. Lin Feng revealed a joyful expression. The evil corpse ring had finally been opened. He could finally know what was in the evil corpse ring. Perhaps he could even find out what kind of person the evil corpse was when it was alive. Lin Feng's divine sense invaded the evil corpse ring. Lin Feng discovered that the evil corpse ring had formed a small world of its own. This made Lin Feng pleasantly surprised. What an awesome evil corpse ring, ah! It was even a grade higher than a space of its own. Refining a storage ring into an independent small world was not an easy matter. Lin Feng's divine sense moved, and he disappeared from his original spot. In the next moment, he had already arrived in that small world. The aura within that small world was extremely ancient. An ancient forest was densely packed. Lin Feng flew towards the depths of the small world. Not long after, he saw tombs one after another. What's going on? Why are there so many tombs in this small world? Lin Feng revealed a shocked expression. Originally, he thought that there would be many amazing things in this small world, and even treasures. However, after entering, he found so many tombs. This really made Lin Feng speechless. He did not know who had built these tombs. Could it be that the evil corpse had built these tombs when it was alive? Wurwu. At this moment, a cold wind howled. Horrifying qi permeated the entire area. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The tombs began to shake violently. As the tombs shook, clouds of qi spread out from the tombs. The qi seemed to cover the sky. After feeling the aura emitted from the qi, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. What a terrifying qi. The qi. What was going on? The next moment, Lin Feng knew what was going on. Suddenly, soldiers began to emerge from the energy. As far as the eye could see, the densely packed nether soldiers were innumerable. Those soldiers completely surrounded Lin Feng. Damn, the evil corpse ring is the nest of the soldier army. Lin Feng's face suddenly changed. Without thinking, he hurriedly rushed out. However, the qi was too terrifying. The qi actually sealed the evil corpse ring. Lin Feng was bounced back. I can't get out. Lin Feng's face turned pale. Around him, the densely packed soldier army was constantly moving towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng even had the heart to cry. Due to the undying nature of the soldier army, it was definitely one of the most terrifying armies in the myriad heavens world. However, according to Lin Feng's knowledge, shouldn't the soldier army be in the underworld? For example, King Yinluo had joined a soldier army. But what was the situation with the soldier army that appeared in front of him? They were not in the underworld, but instead appeared in the evil corpse ring. Everyone, don't be rash. Impulsiveness is the devil. Lin Feng saw the unfriendly expressions of the soldier army and hurriedly shouted. However, the soldier army did not have any intention of stopping. Lin Feng took out all the Buddhist magic treasures he had obtained, such as the ancient Buddha skeleton, the Buddhist robe, and other Buddhist treasures. But even so, it was still unable to scare away the soldiers. Chapter 4992. Shit, this doesn't look good. Will I be killed by the army of soldiers? Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes when he saw the army of ghost soldiers approaching. The army of soldiers was terrifying. They were emitting a terrifying aura that could make one's heart palpitate. He was afraid that he would be in danger. Lin Feng was very clear about this. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel troubled. He had to be careful in dealing with this situation. Otherwise, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. However, the Buddhist weapons couldn't deter these guys. This made Lin Feng somewhat depressed. If even the Buddhist weapons couldn't deter the army of soldiers, how could he deal with them? Lin Feng didn't have much time to think about this matter. He had to find a solution in a very short time. Otherwise, it would be a real tragedy. Suddenly, Lin Feng thought of something. He remembered that when Lin Feng was in Starry Sky Ancient City, the mysterious iron box had caused great damage to the evil corpse. This ring was also the evil corpse's ring. He wondered if the mysterious iron box could have a good effect. When Lin Feng thought about that, he hastily took out the mysterious box. When Lin Feng took out the mysterious iron box, the leading emperor waved his hand, and the approaching army of soldiers suddenly stopped. The emperor wore a crown on his head and held a battle sword in his hand. His expression was ice-cold, giving off a feeling of prestige without being angry. If anyone dared to provoke the emperor, they wouldn't have a good ending. However, the emperor's pair of cold eyes were looking at the mysterious iron box in Lin Feng's hand. The emperor fell into deep thought. Lin Feng was very nervous and worried. No matter how strong a person was, it was impossible to fight against an army of thousands of men and horses. Not to mention this army of soldiers. These existences were close to immortality. They possessed unimaginable power. Lin Feng was very clear that it wouldn't be easy to fight against these existences and escape. The best way was to negotiate with these soldiers. Who are you? Emperor looked at Lin Feng and asked. Lin Feng, descendant of the sovereign emperor. Oh, a descendant of a sovereign's clan? Why are you here? Emperor asked. I was the one who opened the restriction on the evil corpse ring and entered this place. Lin Feng said. Are you the one who opened the ring? Emperor looked at Lin Feng in surprise. Lin Feng asked, is there something wrong? Where's the evil ancestor? Emperor asked. Evil ancestor. Who is he? Lin Feng asked in return. In fact, Lin Feng guessed that the evil corpse was the evil ancestor, but he didn't say anything about it because Lin Feng didn't know the relationship between the evil corpse and these guys. If they were enemies, Lin Feng told them that the evil corpses were killed by him, so these people were naturally very happy. Perhaps he might even establish a deep friendship with her. But what if these people were enemies with the evil corpse? If he told them that the evil corpse was killed by him, it would be tragic. The best way to deal with this was to pretend that he didn't know anything. You don't know who the evil ancestor is? Then how did you get the evil ancestor's ring? An emperor asked. Is this ring called the evil ancestor's ring? I really don't know what it's called. I got it from an ancient city in the starry sky world. Lin Feng said. You got it from an ancient city? An emperor's face was filled with astonishment. Clearly, he had some doubts about Lin Feng's words. Yes, I got it from an ancient city. At that time, many people came to that ancient city and fought over the treasures there. I was lucky enough to get this storage ring. Lin Feng said. Since he had already told this lie, he had no choice. He had to continue lying. An emperor frowned slightly. No one knew what he was thinking. Lin Feng hurriedly said, Sir, you haven't said who the evil ancestor is. The evil ancestor is the incarnation of the evil path. An emperor said, Incarnation of the evil path? What do you mean? Lin Feng asked. There are 3,000 great Daos in the world, and each of these 3,000 great Daos can give birth to life. The evil ancestor was born in this way. The evil ancestor was born from the great Daos and turned into a true life form. Later on, he even gave birth to flesh and blood, creating a perfect body. The history of the evil ancestor is even older than the history of the evil god. An emperor said. Lin Feng already knew what kind of existence the evil ancestor was. He was the incarnation of the great Daos. It was impossible to imagine how powerful such an existence was. Lin Feng guessed that such an existence should be extremely rare even in the long history of the great Daos. Therefore, the so-called evil ancestor was definitely an unimaginable existence. Is there any grudge between you and the evil ancestor? Lin Feng asked. There's no grudge. An emperor squinted his eyes. An emperor narrowed his eyes and said, In the past, when we died in battle, the evil ancestor collected our corpses and buried them in the evil corpse ring that he created. We died very miserably when we were alive, so our resentment didn't disappear. After the evil ancestor buried our corpses together, our chi and resentment fused together, which might allow us to transform into an army of ghost soldiers. At the same time, the evil ancestor could absorb the powerful chi and resentment to enhance his cultivation base. Is this killing two birds with one stone for you? Lin Feng asked. An emperor sneered. We don't want to become ghost soldiers. Death is death. Why would we want to become ghost soldiers and never be reincarnated? The Een sovereign's words made sense. The Een soldiers were a group of cursed living beings. These living beings would suffer endless pain and torture in the future. However, after turning into Een soldiers, they couldn't die. They could only endure the pain silently. Een emperor continued, Actually, we should thank the evil ancestor since we're already in the apocalypse. What do you mean? Lin Feng looked at Een emperor in astonishment. He just said that he didn't want to become ghost soldiers, and now he said that he wanted to thank the evil ancestor. Was he treating his words as a joke? Chapter 49-93. Speaking of this, Emperor Yin's eyes were filled with hope. He hoped that this day would come. The rest of the Een soldiers naturally hoped that this day would come. No one was willing to become a Een soldier. Especially after becoming a Een soldier, only then did they know how comfortable it was to be a normal person. Who would want to die if they could live? It was the same for them. If they could live, they wouldn't want to die. Now, they saw the hope of returning from the calamity. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter in his heart. Luckily, he didn't mention that he was the one who killed the evil corpse. Otherwise, these guys might take revenge for the evil corpse. Thinking of this, Lin Feng couldn't help but shiver. Luckily, he was vigilant. Otherwise, it would be too dangerous. You guys will definitely be able to return from the calamity. Lin Feng said with a grin. Thank you for your auspicious words, Emperor Yin said. Obviously, Emperor Yin wanted to kill Lin Feng at the very beginning. However, after seeing the mysterious iron box in Lin Feng's hand, Emperor Yin changed his attitude. Lin Feng felt that he could use this opportunity to deepen his relationship with Emperor Yin. Especially, Emperor Yin controlled the Yin soldier army. If he could cooperate with Emperor Yin, it would be a great help to him. Thinking of this, Lin Feng said, Emperor Yin, I've already opened the seal. You guys can go out now. What are your plans in the future? At this moment, Lin Feng deliberately repeated the matter of him opening the seal. He wanted to remind Emperor Yin and the others that he was the one who opened the seal of the evil corpse's ring. He was someone who had helped them. Don't forget, Emperor Yin said. We plan to go to the underworld. Lin Feng said, the underworld is very chaotic now. If you guys go to the underworld, you'll probably be recruited by many forces. At that time, no matter which force you join, you'll be restricted by others. It's too boring. Why don't you continue to cultivate in this small world? I'm the descendant of the sovereign emperor clan, and my father is the one who inherited the fate of this era. After I was born, my father's fate transferred to me. Now, I'm also the one who inherited the fate of this era. So, if you guys continue to stay here and be cleansed by my powerful fate, your fate will become stronger and stronger. Luck is very important to a cultivator's cultivation. Since you've turned into an army of ghost soldiers, your luck has basically been used up. It's good enough that your luck isn't in the negative. If you don't even have luck, how can you survive to the next epoch? How can you talk about reincarnating your tribulations? You're all experts who have experienced many storms, so I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying. You should also know if my words make sense or not. Emperor Yin frowned after hearing Lin Feng's words. He understood that Lin Feng's words made sense, but he also knew that there was no free lunch in this world. He narrowed his eyes and looked at Lin Feng. Then what do you want us to do? Lin Feng smiled. If I ask you for help, you'll have to help me. Emperor Yin frowned. This wasn't something he wanted to do. As the saying goes, humans and ghosts walk different paths. The Yin soldier army was a ghost, while Lin Feng was a human. In a situation where they were separated by Yin and Yang, it wasn't necessarily a good thing to have too much involvement. Lin Feng said, I know what you're worried about, Emperor Yin. Don't worry, under normal circumstances, I won't disturb you. I'll only summon you at critical moments. All right, then it's a deal. Remember what you said. If you don't summon us, then try your best not to summon us. Emperor Yin said, Of course, I'll keep this in mind. Lin Feng nodded. Emperor Yin nodded and led the Yin soldier army to retreat quickly. Not long after, the Yin soldier army entered their respective tombs. Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. Being able to cooperate with the Yin soldier army was quite a good thing. Lin Feng's mood suddenly became very good. Lin Feng flew out of the evil corpse ring and put it on his finger. This way, he could get in touch with Emperor Yin at any time. Then, Lin Feng entered the Divine Tao Immortal Palace. Previously, Lin Feng opened the second seal of the Divine Tao Immortal Palace and entered the second palace. In the second palace, Lin Feng obtained a blood-stained stone. The blood on the stone and the stone came from the mysterious iron box. Those immortal stones had been absorbed by the mysterious iron box. Of course, to be precise, they were absorbed by the dismembered corpse inside the mysterious iron box. Although Lin Feng didn't know the origin of the dismembered corpse, Lin Feng knew that the dismembered corpse was an unimaginably terrifying existence when it was alive. Now, Lin Feng planned to open the third palace. But he didn't know what was inside the third palace. Would there be something from the dismembered corpse? Compared to other treasures, Lin Feng hoped to collect something from the dismembered corpse because it could make the corpse more powerful. Lin Feng had the dismembered corpse for a long time. In the beginning, he was worried that the dismembered corpse would have an adverse effect on him. But after so many years, the dismembered corpse didn't have any adverse effect on him. On the contrary, it saved Lin Feng's life in many critical moments. Because of this, Lin Feng was less worried about the dismembered corpse. Therefore, Lin Feng planned to make the dismembered corpse as powerful as possible. Lin Feng began to break the third palace's seal. Time passed. The seal was gradually broken. Lin Feng's face also revealed a smile. After spinning about 5 days, the seal was finally completely broken by Lin Feng. When Lin Feng broke the seal, Lin Feng's face revealed a joyful expression. He had finally broken the seal of the third palace. What was there in the third palace? Lin Feng pushed open the third palace. He walked into the third palace. After entering the third palace, Lin Feng suddenly felt a piece of bone in his chest emitting violent waves. Saint Bone. Lin Feng was shocked. Back then, Lin Feng had refined 2 pieces of bone into his body. One was the Saint Bone, and the other was the White Tiger Origin Bone. The White Tiger Origin Bone helped Lin Feng comprehend the White Bone domineering aura. Chapter 4994. Now, the sacred bone was emitting waves. What was going on? Lin Feng was puzzled. Could it be that the opportunity here had something to do with the sacred bone? Lin Feng looked into the depths of the hall. He suddenly saw that there was a ball of holy light in the depths of the hall. It was unclear what was wrapped in that ball of holy light. The sacred bone's strange movements seemed to have a lot to do with what was inside the ball of holy light. Lin Feng could not help but look happy. He quickly walked towards that ball of holy light. In fact, Lin Feng knew how powerful the sacred bone was. However, Lin Feng rarely used the sacred bone to fight. One reason was because he had other means to deal with his enemies. 2. The sacred bone had fused with Lin Feng's chest. Using the sacred bone would expose this trump card. When that happened, many enemies would target Lin Feng's chest. Naturally, this was not a situation that Lin Feng wanted to see happen. Therefore, Lin Feng rarely used the sacred bone to fight. 3rd, the power of the sacred bone was not easy to use. Therefore, these were the factors that limited Lin Feng from using the sacred bone. However, if he encountered an extremely dangerous situation, Lin Feng would still use the sacred bone. Soon, he came in front of that dazzling ball of holy light. There was a transparent crystal in that ball of holy light. After seeing that crystal, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. He took the crystal in his hand. Suddenly, beams of holy light gushed out from the sacred bone. The holy light completely fused with the crystal in Lin Feng's hand. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng could not help but look extremely shocked. It seemed that the sacred bone had a very special reaction to the crystal in front of him. This is... Lin Feng was surprised. After the crystal absorbed the holy light, it began to decompose. It did not take long for it to decompose into dense runes. Every rune contained incomparably pure energy. After feeling that pure energy, Lin Feng's face was immediately filled with shock. He had guessed something, and now he only needed to verify it to know if his guess was true. Not long after, the crystal had completely decomposed into mysterious runes. One rune after another. They all fused into Lin Feng's body. Then, those runes drilled into the sacred bone. Lin Feng felt the sacred bone in his chest begin to heat up. His chest was getting hotter and hotter. Lin Feng did not know what this change was, but Lin Feng knew that it was definitely a good thing. About 2 hours later, the saint bone in his chest started to recover, and the scorching temperature started to decrease. It didn't take long for the saint bone to completely recover. Lin Feng tried to communicate with the sacred bone in his chest. Lin Feng easily communicated with the sacred bone in his chest. Lin Feng discovered that the interior of the sacred bone was like a huge world. That world contained endless majestic energy. That majestic energy was stored in that world. When Lin Feng tried to guide that majestic energy out, that majestic energy really quickly surged out of the world formed by the sacred bone. It endlessly supported Lin Feng. With the support of that majestic energy, Lin Feng's battle strength rose steadily. Previously, Lin Feng could only try to activate the sacred bone and let it release some powerful attacks. However, he could not use the power of the sacred bone for his own use. This time, after the sacred bone absorbed those runes, Lin Feng could actually guide the power of the sacred bone into his body and use it for his own use. This was a huge transformation. In this way, Lin Feng could not only borrow the power of the magic lotus, the Dominator's armor, the golden dwarf, and out-of-body incarnation, but also the power of the sacred bone. Hee hee, this feels great. If I borrow the power of the sacred bone, my battle strength will increase. Once again, it will greatly increase. Lin Feng grinned. Who would complain about being strong? If they did, they would only complain that they were not strong enough. Lin Feng flew out of the Divine Tao Immortal Palace. He had gained a lot from this trip to the heaven-devouring secret realm. His sovereign bloodline had completed its third transformation, and he had obtained one of the most powerful treasures of the sovereign clan, the Epic War Spear. Now, the sacred bone had also undergone a miraculous transformation. He could now use the power of the sacred bone for his own use. This was a very satisfying thing. Lin Feng walked out of the stone room. When she saw Lin Feng, Lung Zishi hurriedly called out, "Lin Feng, I found a teleportation formation. I don't know if it can teleport us out." "Oh? Teleportation formation? Where is it?" Lin Feng asked curiously. If they went out now, they would definitely be surrounded by a large group of experts. Lin Feng was very clear about this. If they were surrounded by those experts, it was hard to say what would happen. Therefore, leaving by teleportation formation was the best choice. "It's over here." Lung Zishi led Lin Feng to the stone room where the teleportation formation was. Lin Feng followed Lung Zishi to the stone room where the heaven-devouring evil emperor had rested. The teleportation formation was actually under the stone bed. The bed had been moved away by Lung Zishi. In fact, Lung Zishi had discovered this secret teleportation formation because she had been very bored while Lin Feng had been in seclusion. She had almost turned the entire cave upside down to see if there were any treasures left behind. She had not found any treasures, but she had found a teleportation formation. Lin Feng observed for a moment and found that the teleportation formation was not destroyed. This made Lin Feng happy. It was good that the teleportation formation was not destroyed. This way, it could be activated. Lin Feng formed a series of seals and sent them into the teleportation formation. Soon, the teleportation formation was activated. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi stepped onto the teleportation formation. Buzz. There was a flash of light. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi disappeared from the cave. When they came out, they found themselves in an ancient forest. Not far away, more than a dozen monks were flying quickly. These monks were not targeting Lin Feng and Lung Zishi. They glanced at Lin Feng and Lung Zishi and did not pay much attention to the two young cultivators. The monks did not stop and quickly flew into the depths of the forest. Chapter 4995. Lin Feng nodded and said, "It is indeed the heaven-devouring mystery realm, but there's no need for us to stay here any longer. Let's leave now." "All right, let's go then." Lung Zishi nodded and asked, "Where are we going now?" "The ancient demon domain," Lin Feng said. "Wow, the ancient demon domain. A domain ruled by demons. I've wanted to go there for a long time." Hearing that they were going to the ancient demon domain, Lung Zishi cried out in excitement. The reason why they were going to the ancient demon domain was because they would pass by the White Bone region on their way back to the Sin domain. Part of the White Bone region was adjacent to the ancient demon domain, so they could visit some old friends in the ancient demon domain. The Fire Qilin, the Peacock King, the Great Rock King, the Little Rock King, Feng Yaorao, Princess Shui Yao, Little Yu Yu, and many others. These people were Lin Feng's true friends. They were also the people closest to Lin Feng. Lin Feng had always wanted to visit them, but he never had the chance. Now, he finally had the chance. The three-headed viper flew quickly above the lake as Lin Feng rested on Lung Zishi's soft and slender thighs. What a relaxing day, smelling the pleasant fragrance on Lung Zishi's body. What a pleasant life. In the depths of the Inferno Island, rolling black fog covered the sky. "My lord, the seal has cracked. I'm afraid the seal won't be able to suppress that terrifying existence anymore." The elder in charge of strengthening the seal came to Yun Zhongtian and said in a terrified voice, Damn it, who broke the seal? I found out who it was. I must tear him to pieces." Yun Zhongtian roared in anger. But Yun Zhongtian knew that it was not the time to be angry. The most important thing now was to quickly strengthen the seal. If that terrifying existence came out, the consequences would be unimaginable. It would not be too late to look for the traitor after the seal was strengthened. I'll go take a look myself, Yun Zhongtian said in a low voice. The group of people quickly flew towards the seal under Yun Zhongtian's lead. But before they could even reach the seal's location, a sinister cackle sounded out from deep within, and a large amount of demonic fog rolled about as the demonic fog quickly surged outwards. "Run, my lord! Save me!" Many cultivators screamed in horror. They quickly ran out from the depths, but the rolling devil fog was too fast. It swallowed those cultivators in an instant. All the cultivators who were swallowed by the devil fog died tragically in the devil fog. "Damn it, let's go stop that guy. Old Shui, you go help evacuate the residents on the island," Yun Zhongtian said solemnly. Upon the island, there were also the clansmen of the people from Cloud Heaven, their loved ones and others. In total, there were more than 1,000,000 people. Yun Zhongtian knew that it was no longer realistic for him to want to completely evacuate all these people. The destruction of the barrier was just too sudden, and it had caught Yun Zhongtian completely off guard. Although Yun Zhongtian had immediately ordered his subordinates to evacuate the residents of the island, it had only been 2 hours since then. How many people could be evacuated in that amount of time? Now that that terrifying existence had appeared, they did not have much time left. No one will be able to escape. But just as Yun Zhongtian's voice fell, a sinister and terrifying voice rang out from within the demonic fog. Following that, the demonic fog that covered the skies quickly surged outwards, surrounding the entire fiery flame island. Arg! Pitiful screams rang out from all over the fiery flame island. It was obvious that many people had already died within the demonic fog. 50 miles away from the sea, Lung Zishi patted Lin Feng and said, "Quick, look. The demonic fog has covered the skies over there. I wonder what's going on." Hearing that, Lin Feng got up and looked into the distance. When he saw the demonic fog that covered the skies, Lin Feng could not help but frown. "You wait here. I'll go have a look," Lin Feng said. He then shot up into the sky and quickly flew towards the demonic fog. "I want to go too," Lung Zishi immediately cried out. She was a very active person, and if one wanted her to stay put, it would be harder than ascending to the heavens. Hence, after Lin Feng flew towards the area where the demonic fog covered the skies, Lung Zishi quickly flew towards that area as well. Within the demonic fog, it exuded a sinister and terrifying aura. A monster with a human body but an octopus head stood within the demonic fog and let out a sinister laugh. Large tentacles stretched out from its head and lashed out at the cultivators one by one. Asterisk bam bam bam. Asterisk any cultivator who was lashed out by the monster would have their bones broken if they were lucky. If they were severely injured, they would immediately die. That monster was just too terrifying. "I'll fight you to the death." Seeing his loyal subordinates being severely injured or even killed one by one, Yun Zhongtian's eyes turned blood red. He roared out loud and quickly charged towards the monster. An ant-like thing actually dares to resist? What a joke. The monster let out a disdainful snort, and a large tentacle lashed out at Yun Zhongtian. Yun Zhongtian swung the sword in his hand at the tentacle, but when the sword came into contact with the tentacle was covered with runes, and his attack was immediately neutralized by the runes. Then, the tentacle sent Yun Zhongtian flying with a swipe of its own. Crack, crack. The sound of bones breaking rang out, and it was not known just how many of Yun Zhongtian's bones had been broken. Yun Zhongtian's body was sent flying and his face was as white as a sheet. It was at that moment that the tentacle quickly flew over and wrapped itself around Yun Zhongtian. He, I'm going to eat you." The monster let out a sinister laugh, and the tentacle quickly retracted back after it had wrapped itself around Yun Zhongtian. That terrifying monster wanted to eat Yun Zhongtian alive. "My lord!" Many of the cultivators roared out in rage and quickly charged towards the monster, wanting to save Yun Zhongtian. Screech! Suddenly, the monster let out a piercing cry, and many of the cultivators covered their ears before they cried out in pain. That monster's attack was just too terrifying, and it had hurt their very souls. Yun Zhongtian struggled endlessly, but he was unable to break free. Yun Zhongtian's face then showed a bitter smile. It looks like today he would not be able to escape death. The monster had already opened its gaping maw, wanting to devour Yun Zhongtian, But it was at that moment that a burst of sword chi came slashing down from the heavens. PFFDD. Chapter 4996. Young Master Ji. When he saw the person who had appeared, Yun Zhongtian was pleasantly surprised. It was none other than Lin Feng. Yun Zhongtian had thought that he was going to die, but he did not expect to be saved by Lin Feng. "Are you all right?" Lin Feng asked. "I'm fine. Young Master Ji, be careful of this monster. This is the octopus demon of the Western universe. In the past, this fellow ran to the Eastern universe and caused a great massacre. It devoured over 100 planets with life, and the number of casualties reached into the trillions. Back then, in order to suppress this octopus demon, countless experts died." Yun Zhongtian reminded him, "A being from the Western universe?" Hearing this, Lin Feng looked extremely surprised. In this era, the endless starry skies were divided into the Eastern and Western universes. This was also compatible with the great Tao of heaven and earth, where yin and yang were opposites. The plane where the three supreme realms were located, as well as all the worlds under it, belonged to the Eastern universe. The other Western universe was more mysterious, and Lin Feng did not know much about that world. However, Lin Feng had heard of existences such as Allah and God, who were the top experts of the Western universe. He hadn't thought he'd see a cultivator from the Western world in such a place. Lin Feng was overjoyed. If he could capture this fellow, he would be able to find out many things about the Western universe from him. "Here comes another one who has come to die. I can feel how powerful the blood in your body is. If I eat you, it will definitely play an important role in restoring my cultivation base." The giant octopus troll let out a sinister laugh. Previously, its tentacle had been cut off by Lin Feng, but now it had recovered. Seeing that the octopus demon had recovered, Lin Feng could not help but look extremely shocked. This speed of recovery was a little too abnormal, and it was truly shocking. However, to Lin Feng, this was nothing. At this moment, Lung Zishi flew over. She looked at the octopus demon and said, "Wow, it's a big octopus monster. After killing it, we can roast it. Didn't you say that you're good at roasting meat? But I don't want to eat roasted meat. I prefer seafood." "Seafood?" The corner of the octopus demon's mouth twitched violently. He was a terrifying existence, but now, in the eyes of others, he had become seafood, food. This made the octopus demon very angry. Now, the octopus demon wanted nothing more than to cut Lung Zishi into pieces. He coldly looked at Lung Zishi and said, "Lowly ant, you will die a miserable death later. I guarantee that before you die, I will let you taste endless pain." "Seafood, don't talk." Lung Zishi waved her hand at the octopus demon, then directly ignored it. She looked at Lin Feng and pulled Lin Feng's hand, swinging it back and forth. "Okay, let's make a seafood feast later." Lin Feng nodded and said, "Of course, no problem. I think that the octopus tentacles should taste good. Why don't we make a teppanyaki octopus? I ate it when I was young, and the taste is still unforgettable. I don't know if I can recreate the taste of my childhood." Okay, I want to eat teppanyaki octopus. I haven't eaten teppanyaki octopus before." Lung Zishi was immediately delighted. Yun Zhongtian, who was at the side, could not help but smile bitterly. In the face of a great enemy, Lin Feng and the goddess before him were actually discussing how to eat the octopus demon later. They really did not see the octopus demon as a threat. However, when he thought of Lin Feng's powerful strength, Yun Zhongtian felt that Lin Feng's arrogance naturally had the right to do so. "Go to hell, all of you." The octopus demon roared angrily, and its tentacles quickly lashed out at Lin Feng and Lung Zishi. There were dozens of tentacles densely packed together, and each tentacle contained terrifying power. "Slash!" shouted Lin Feng in a deep voice. Immediately after, 5 stone swords appeared in his hand. Then, under Lin Feng's control, the 5 stone swords quickly moved towards the tentacles. The power of the 5 stone swords was naturally terrifying, and Lin Feng's cultivation had improved greatly, so the power of the 5 stone swords was now many times stronger than before. Under Lin Feng's control, the 5 stone swords displayed their might, cutting off all the tentacles. Then, The 5 stone swords quickly slashed at the octopus demon. Damn it! Damn it! You lowly ant! You've completely infuriated me. I'll make sure you die a horrible death. The octopus demon roared angrily. The tentacles that had been cut off quickly recovered. This guy seemed to have the ability to live forever, and even after receiving such great damage, he was still able to recover in such a short period of time. It was really too abnormal. At this moment, a demonic saber appeared in the octopus demon's hand. This demonic saber was called the Black Head Demon Saber, and it emitted a sinister and terrifying aura. With a light sweep of the saber, a ghostly aura filled the air, covering the sky. With a slash of the saber, it seemed to be able to shatter the heavens and destroy the earth. The octopus demon wielded the Black Head Demon Saber and swept it towards Lin Feng's 5 stone swords. Clang, clang, clang. A series of violent collisions rang out. Lin Feng's 5 stone swords were swept away. The octopus demon wielded the Black Head Demon Saber and walked towards Lin Feng, looking at Lin Feng with disdain. His eyes were filled with disdain. The octopus demon looked at Lin Feng with disdain and said, "Brat, do you think you can be arrogant in front of me just because you have a bit of strength? How laughable. Even if I can't even display 1/10,000th of my peak strength, dealing with you is as easy as flipping my hand." The octopus demon was extremely arrogant. Of course, Lin Feng didn't think that this guy was bragging. The octopus demon had been imprisoned for so many years, but he was still so powerful. This was enough to show how terrifying he was back then. Lin Feng guessed that those experts back then also wanted to kill the octopus demon, but he was too powerful. Therefore, those experts couldn't kill him, and the octopus demon has lived until now. Lin Feng sneered as he looked at the octopus demon. This guy was indeed very powerful, but the current Lin Feng was no longer the same as before. Lin Feng sneered and said, "The ignorant are truly fearless. Are you still living in your dreams? Today, I'll let you know my power." Lin Feng put away the 5 stone swords. Chapter 4997. Lin Feng held the epical war spear in his hand. He felt an extremely close connection with the epical war spear. The epical war spear was like his arm, his legs, his nose, his eyes, and an extension of his body. This feeling was incomparably wondrous and comfortable. Lin Feng knew that he could only activate a small portion of the epical war spear's power. However, Lin Feng felt that a powerful artifact like the epical war spear, even if he could only activate a small portion of its power, it would still be terrifying enough. This was a supreme artifact that could contend with ancient weapons. It was a supreme artifact forged by the Sovereign Emperor clan's progenitor. "Kid, taste my true demonic 4 blades." At this moment, the octopus demon suddenly roared. He held the tortoise saber in his hand and charged towards Lin Feng. In midair, the octopus demon slashed out 3 times in a row. 1 blade slays all ghosts. 2 blades slays all gods. 3 blades shatter the firmament. 4 blades shatter the universe. The power of the octopus demon's 4 blades was truly terrifying. Lin Feng felt a sense of solemnity. Although this guy had been suppressed for countless years, his battle strength was still formidable. Moreover, he had mastered many powerful techniques. Now that he was displaying them, it was naturally terrifying. However, Lin Feng didn't fear this guy at all. Facing the octopus demon's true demonic 4 blades, Lin Feng stabbed out with his spear. Lin Feng wasn't proficient in spear arts. He was proficient in the 3,000 great daos and various powerful attacks. He was also proficient in some supreme techniques recorded in ancient immortal scriptures. However, so what if he wasn't proficient in powerful spear arts? Lin Feng's magic power was abundant. Although he wasn't proficient in powerful spear arts, he could still display the power of the epical war spear. Lin Feng swept his spear towards his opponent. This was a very common martial art move, total annihilation. Generally speaking, after cultivating to such a high level, they rarely used the moves of martial arts. However, from another perspective, if one was strong enough, even if it was just a move that an ordinary warrior would use, one could still explode with unimaginable combat power. If he was not strong enough, he would not be able to unleash the full power of this ability even if he used the most powerful ability. Therefore, when Lin Feng used total annihilation, it still burst out with an extremely powerful force. Clang! Lin Feng's epic war spear and the demon octopus's black head ghost blade collided violently. Sparks flew everywhere as the two weapons collided, and a destructive shockwave spread out in all directions. Lin Feng's epic war spear and the demon octopus's black head ghost blade collided. Although the giant octopus demon used a very powerful knife skill, it was still resolved by Lin Feng. How is this possible? The giant octopus troll demon exclaimed in disbelief. The knife skill he used was one of his trump cards, but it was easily resolved by Lin Feng. The giant octopus troll demon naturally couldn't accept this. The giant octopus troll demon's eyes became extremely gloomy. Before, he was full of contempt for Lin Feng, but now he knew that he had underestimated Lin Feng. You dare to brag with just this little ability? What a joke. Giant octopus, if this is all you have, then you will die at the hands of your little grandpa. Lin Feng looked at the giant octopus troll demon with contempt. Lin Feng indeed had the qualifications to say such words. This was because Lin Feng's previous attack was only a probing attack. After all, this was the first time Lin Feng used the epic war spear in a real battle. The power of the epic war spear was much stronger than Lin Feng had imagined. This made Lin Feng very happy. The only thing that made Lin Feng depressed was that the epic war spear consumed too much of his FA. With Lin Feng's current FA reserves, he couldn't use the epic war spear for a long time. Of course, Lin Feng already knew this, so he was already mentally prepared. Eat my saber again. The giant octopus troll demon's face was very gloomy. He shouted coldly and leaped up. He became one with the saber and slashed towards Lin Feng. The giant octopus troll demon suffered a small loss in the previous collision, but he didn't think that he would lose to Lin Feng. He still had some powerful moves that he hadn't used yet. Moreover, the giant octopus troll demon was an incomparably arrogant existence. How could he admit that he lost to Lin Feng? For him, this was absolutely unacceptable. It was simply a great humiliation. Therefore, the giant octopus troll demon was incomparably angry. He wanted to kill Lin Feng to vent his anger. This time, the giant octopus troll demon used an even more powerful attack. This attack was called the God-slaying saber technique. It was an incomparably tyrannical saber technique. The highest realm was the realm of one with the saber. Although the giant octopus devil's realm had fallen, his understanding of the divine ability didn't decrease. His understanding of the divine ability was still profound and unfathomable. Therefore, the octopus demon's attack was extremely powerful. Lin Feng could sense how terrifying that attack was. A sneer appeared on Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng's FA continuously poured into the epic war spear. The power of the epic war spear continued to increase. One spear to decide the universe. Lin Feng couldn't help but shout as he thrusted his spear forward. Although Lin Feng wasn't proficient in spear techniques, he was actually quite proficient in them. In fact, Lin Feng also cultivated several spear techniques. For example, the Purgatory Spear art needed to be used together with the Purgatory Demon Spear in order to display the power of the Purgatory Spear art. This spear to decide the universe was a spear technique recorded in the 9 Cosmos Spears. Lin Feng wasn't particularly familiar with this spear technique. In the past, he only cultivated it when he had nothing to do. Lin Feng wasn't proficient in several spear techniques. Lin Feng didn't cultivate many spear techniques, so Lin Feng wasn't very proficient in them. However, when Lin Feng used the epic war spear to display this spear technique, it still erupted with a terrifying power. This was mainly because the epic war spear was too powerful. Clang! A second collision occurred. Lin Feng's epic war spear and the giant octopus troll demon saber clashed for the second time. This time, the power of the epic war spear was revealed. Chapter 4998. The power of Lin Feng's spear was too terrifying. Even Lin Feng himself was shocked. Lin Feng's attack didn't slow down. He stabbed the epic war spear towards the octopus demon's chest. The octopus demon was shocked. He didn't expect this result. His blackhead ghost blade was so powerful, but it couldn't block Lin Feng's war spear. He couldn't imagine how powerful Lin Feng's war spear was. The octopus demon quickly retreated. He wanted to avoid Lin Feng's attack and escape. Lin Feng was too powerful. The octopus demon didn't want to continue fighting with Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng didn't give him the chance. With a tearing sound, Lin Feng's spear pierced through the octopus demon's chest. The octopus demon looked down at the epic war spear that pierced through his chest. He sneered and said, "Boy, I really underestimated you. I didn't expect you to be so powerful. However, this king has an immortal body. You can't kill this king." After the octopus demon's voice fell, the tentacles on his face began to grow. They wrapped around Lin Feng, wanting to wrap around Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng sneered and gently slashed with his other hand. In an instant, the octopus demon's tentacles were cut off by Lin Feng. Next, Lin Feng used the powerful God-forbidden 8 seals. Killing the octopus demon wasn't easy, but sealing it was much easier. Moreover, Lin Feng didn't want to kill the octopus demon now. This was because he still had a lot of questions to ask the octopus demon. If he killed the octopus demon now, he wouldn't be able to get the information he wanted from it. The God-forbidding 8 seals formed numerous runes that suppressed the octopus troll's body. The octopus demon's expression changed greatly. As a top expert in the past, the octopus demon was naturally very knowledgeable. When Lin Feng used the God-forbidden 8 seals, he already knew that it was a sealing technique. Although the octopus demon claimed to have an immortal body, how could there be a true immortal body in this world? Even the immortal divine body wasn't a true immortal body. Therefore, there was more than one way to kill the octopus demon. The octopus demon was very clear about this. If he was suppressed by Lin Feng, then Lin Feng would find a way to kill him. At that time, he would die without a burial ground. The giant octopus demon fiercely struggled, but it was too late. Numerous sealing runes were branded on its body. The sealing runes directly sealed the octopus demon's magic power. Damn it! You actually dare to seal me? Who do you think you are? You actually dare to seal me? After being sealed, the octopus demon went completely berserk. He couldn't help but loudly curse. Lin Feng sneered and slapped the octopus demon. With a slap, Lin Feng's slap ruthlessly landed on the octopus demon's face. The octopus demon's face was swollen from Lin Feng's slap. A dense killing intent appeared in the octopus demon's eyes. What? You can't accept it? Don't forget that you're just a prisoner now. How dare you shout in front of this young master? You really don't know the difference between life and death. Lin Feng sneered. The octopus demon wanted nothing more than to tear Lin Feng into 1,000 pieces. However, he knew that he had to remain calm because he was now Lin Feng's prisoner. Moreover, he could sense a cold killing intent from Lin Feng. This meant that Lin Feng could really kill him. The octopus demon had been sealed for so many years. Now that it had just escaped, it naturally didn't want to be killed. The octopus demon took a deep breath and said, "What will it take for you to spare my life?" You want me to spare your life? That depends on whether you're willing to cooperate or not. You'll answer whatever I ask you later. Lin Feng said, "Ask away. If I know, I'll tell you." "I'll naturally tell you," said the octopus demon. Lin Feng asked, "What's the situation in the Western universe?" The octopus troll said, "I'm not particularly clear about the current situation of the Western universe. After all, I've been sealed for countless years. If you want to know more about the Western universe, I can tell you some of the situation of my era." "All right, tell me about it," Lin Feng said. The octopus troll said, "The Western universe's civilization isn't as developed as the Eastern universe's. But even so, there are still many powerful life forms in the Western universe. However, among these powerful life forms, there are some peak experts. These top-notch experts are the absolute rulers of the Western universe world. For example, God, Allah, Zeus, and Satan are the absolute rulers of the Western universe. Their strength is unimaginable, and they have countless methods. Countless experts are loyal to them." Lin Feng asked, "Are these the 4 strongest experts of the Western universe?" The octopus troll demon nodded and said, "Yes, they are the 4 strongest powerhouses of the Western universe. However, there should be a few other powerhouses at the same level as them, but they keep a low profile. That's why the outside world doesn't know much about them. Even I don't know much about the other strongest powerhouses." Lin Feng asked. Who did you submit to? The octopus demon said, I submitted to Satan. Satan meant devil. I'm a demon. Satan is my master. When the octopus demon mentioned Satan, a fanatical look appeared in its eyes. Lin Feng was astonished when he saw the look in the octopus demon's eyes. The octopus demon was probably equivalent to a saint-level expert at its peak, yet it still worshipped Satan. Just what kind of existence was Satan? How could he make the octopus demon worship him so? Lin Feng had a feeling that there were many experts in the Western universe who worshipped Satan just like the octopus demon. Asked Lin Feng, with your cultivation level, you must have had a very high position under Satan's command, right? The octopus demon proudly said, Of course. I was one of the 12 demon kings under Satan. Chapter 4999. The octopus demon explained, That's because the Western universes are too small compared to the Eastern universes. The Western universes are only a millionth of the Eastern universes. Lin Feng said, The Eastern universes are endlessly vast. Even if the Western universes are only a millionth of the Eastern universes, they can still be considered vast, right? The octopus demon said, Of course, but the Western universes are different from the Eastern universes. There are too many experts in the Eastern universes, so it's difficult for any organization in the Eastern universes to divide the Eastern universes. The Western universes, on the other hand, have fewer supreme experts, so they divided the Western universes. They want to find new worlds, so they set their sights on the Eastern universes. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. So you're saying that you're an outpost sent to investigate the situation in the Eastern universes? The octopus demon nodded. You can put it that way. If I hadn't been so high-profile back then, I wouldn't have been suppressed. Lin Feng sneered. You being suppressed is already a relatively good outcome. If those top experts had made a move, you would have died many times over. The octopus demon didn't refute Lin Feng's words. There were indeed many terrifying existences in the Eastern universes. Some of them were even comparable to the Western universe's sovereigns. The octopus demon fell silent for a moment, then asked, Is there anything else you want to ask? Didn't the experts in the Western universes fight each other? Lin Feng asked after some thought. Hee. That's the difference between the Eastern universes and the Western universes. The Eastern universes have many top experts, and the rate at which they're replaced is also faster. That's why many ambitious people have been born. Wars often break out in the Eastern universes, and some of them are even disastrous. Who knows how many organizations have been destroyed? However, there's no need to worry about that in the Western universes. In the Western universe, there are only a few top experts, so the top experts are familiar with each other. The rest of the experts are attached to those top experts, so if those top experts don't fight, it's impossible for a large-scale war to break out. But because those top experts are too familiar with each other, it's impossible for them to start a war. Therefore, for a long time, the Western universe is relatively peaceful. If those top experts want to expand their territory, they're more willing to do so. The octopus demon explained. Lin Feng frowned. He hadn't expected the situation in the Western universes to be like this. The top experts really did have foresight. Lin Feng continued asking, Did the Western universes invade the Eastern universes? A small group of cultivators came. You could call them the vanguard, but they were just small fries. They couldn't pose too much of a threat to the Eastern universes. Originally, the main force was supposed to follow, but for some reason, the main force never arrived. Oh, you don't know why? Lin Feng asked. The giant octopus troll said, I originally wanted to go back and ask, but those despicable fellows joined forces to suppress me, so I couldn't go back. Countless years later, I came out of seclusion once more, but I never thought I would meet you. At this point, the octopus demon felt very depressed. When he had first come out of seclusion, he had thought that he would recover quickly and become an overlord. He would then cause chaos in the multiverse, and it wouldn't be too late for him to return to the Western universes after that. Alas, he hadn't been able to fulfill his wishes before he was suppressed by Lin Feng. Now that he thought about it, he had the urge to vomit blood. If possible, He really didn't want to meet a god of death like Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, "Good. You're quite honest." The octopus demon heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Lin Feng's words. He planned to ask Lin Feng when he would let him go. At that moment, Yun Zhongtian came to Lin Feng's side and whispered something into Lin Feng's ear. Lin Feng nodded, then looked at the octopus demon and asked, "Who destroyed the seal on you?" The octopus demon said, "It was a cultivator called Zhou Zicheng. After he was tempted by my words, he found an opportunity to destroy the seal." Zhou Zicheng? How could it be Zhou Zicheng? Hearing the giant octopus demon's words, Yun Zhongtian's face turned an ugly shade. Because this Zhou Zicheng was Yun Zhongtian's sworn brother, and he had even risked his life to save Yun Zhongtian's life back then. Moreover, Zhou Zicheng had always been very loyal, and Yun Zhongtian just could not believe that it was Zhou Zicheng who had betrayed the Inferno Island. Because of Zhou Zicheng's betrayal, Inferno Island had suffered heavy casualties. When he thought of his dead brothers, his loved ones, and his brother's loved ones, Yun Zhongtian felt extremely sorrowful. If it had been anyone else, Yun Zhongtian might have been able to accept it, but Zhou Zicheng was the only one he could not accept. Zhou Zicheng was his most trusted brother. Lin Feng raised an eyebrow. He had some impression of Zhou Zicheng. Back then, Zhou Zicheng had followed Yun Zhongtian to the Blackstone Mountains. They had stayed in Blackstone City for a short while, and that was how they got to know each other. Lin Feng had seen Zhou Zicheng before. However, he had never interacted with Zhou Zicheng, so his impression of Zhou Zicheng was not particularly deep. Lin Feng said, "He is still him, but he is no longer him." Although Lin Feng's words sounded a little awkward, Yun Zhongtian understood what Lin Feng meant. He was still him. What he meant was that Zhou Zicheng was still Zhou Zicheng, but he was no longer him. What he meant was that Zhou Zicheng was no longer the Zhou Zicheng of the past. Lin Feng did not know what kind of person Zhou Zicheng was in the past, but from Yun Zhongtian's demeanor and expression, he knew that Zhou Zicheng must have been a very good person. However, as time passed, people would change. Everyone would change. But some people would turn from bad to good, and some people would turn from good to bad. Two completely different changes. Yet, two different lives would be created. Yun Zhongtian looked at Old Cow and the others nearby. Chapter 5000. He was here just a moment ago, but in the blink of an eye, he ran off to God knows where. Old Bull said. Yun Zhongtian knew. Zhou Zicheng had escaped. Because Zhou Zicheng had seen Lin Feng oppressing the giant octopus demon, Zhou Zicheng had a bad premonition. Before the giant octopus demon could say anything, Zhou Zicheng took the initiative to escape. He had left behind his family, relatives, tribesmen, and lover, fleeing alone. Capture him, no matter where he goes. If he's alive, I want to see him. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. Yun Zhongtian said coldly. Yun Zhongtian could be considered an ambitious and ruthless person. Therefore, once he accepted Zhou Zicheng's betrayal, he would regain his ruthless personality. Yes. Old Bull led the group away quickly. I've said all that needs to be said. Do you have any other questions? If you have no more questions, can you let me go now? The octopus demon said. Let you go? Did I say I'd let you go? Lin Feng smiled faintly at the octopus demon. Hearing that, the octopus demon's expression changed. He said gloomily, "Are you going to go back on your word?" Lin Feng said, "You begged me not to kill you just now, and I promised you that I wouldn't kill you. But you didn't ask me to let you go." You. Hearing Lin Feng's words, the octopus demon trembled in anger. He knew that Lin Feng was playing a word game with him. What he meant was that he wanted Lin Feng to let him go. However, Lin Feng did not let him go. He only spared him. Based on what he said, it could be interpreted that way. You know that I want you to let me go, the octopus demon said with a gloomy face. Lin Feng said, Nonsense. I clearly said I wouldn't kill you. That was your request. I've always agreed to anyone's request. Lin Feng stopped listening to the octopus demon's nonsense. He waved his hand and suppressed the octopus demon within the 4 ferocious cauldrons. Even if the giant octopus troll died 1,000 times, or even 10,000 times, it would still be too easy for him. However, the giant octopus troll was still useful to Lin Feng. Lin Feng planned to visit the Western universe in the future, but Lin Feng didn't know how to get there. Furthermore, even if he went to the Western universe world, he would still be in the dark and would not know anything. When the time came, he could use the octopus demon as a guide. Lin Feng wasn't afraid of the octopus demon tricking him. This was because before they set off, Lin Feng would use the Great Purification to convert the octopus demon. At that time, the octopus demon would be loyal to Lin Feng. It definitely wouldn't deceive or betray Lin Feng. After the octopus troll was suppressed by Lin Feng, the demonic energy that permeated the surroundings gradually dissipated. Lin Feng said, "Go check on the casualties and treat the injured. We won't be staying here any longer." Yun Zhongtian wanted to keep Lin Feng for a few more days so that he could properly thank Lin Feng. When he heard that Lin Feng was about to leave, he knew that Lin Feng had already made up his mind. Therefore, he didn't urge Lin Feng to stay. Yun Zhongtian cupped his fists and said, "Young Master Ji, Yun Zhongtian will remember today's great kindness. In the future, this one is willing to go through water and tread on fire for young master. With just a word from young master, this one will definitely not frown." Lin Feng smiled and said, "You don't have to be so courteous. Aren't we friends? It's only right for friends to help each other." After hearing Lin Feng's words, Yun Zhongtian immediately became excited. To be able to gain Lin Feng's approval, even if he had to die, he would have no regrets. Lin Feng patted Yun Zhongtian's shoulder and left with Lung Zishi. Lin Feng summoned the three-headed viper. He sat cross-legged on top of the three-headed viper's humongous head, recovering his powers. After his powers had recovered, Lung Zishi said, "I want to eat teppanyaki octopus. I want to eat teppanyaki octopus." Lin Feng said with a smile, "How about this? I'll cut off the tentacles on that fellow's head and make you a teppanyaki octopus to eat." Lung Zishi said, "I don't want to eat that fellow's tentacles. It's disgusting just looking at them. I want to eat a real teppanyaki octopus." "Then I'll go catch a huge octopus for you to roast," Lin Feng said with a smile. Lung Zishi was instantly elated and nodded her head repeatedly. The three-headed viper understood tacitly and immediately flew towards the lake with Lin Feng and Lung Zishi on its back, as this lake had some tributaries that flowed into the sea. So, there were some fish from the sea that flowed into the lake along the rivers, and octopuses could be found. Not long after, Lin Feng caught a large octopus. Its tentacles were about 10 meters long. Lin Feng took out a piece of immortal iron. Under Lin Feng's control, the piece of immortal iron floated in front of him. Lin Feng placed the cleaned octopus tentacles on top of it and then used the heavenly fire to repeatedly calcine it. Not long after, the aroma of roasted octopus meat filled the air. Lin Feng sprinkled some seasonings. After waiting for a moment, the teppanyaki octopus was ready. "Try it and see how it tastes," Lin Feng said. Lung Zishi used a knife to cut off a small piece of octopus meat and then ate it. In fact, she usually didn't eat these things at all. After coming to the Undying Realm and following beside Lin Feng, she also began to eat some of the junk food in the eyes of cultivators. "Woo woo, it's so delicious." As Lung Zishi ate, she called out in a muffled voice. Her voice faintly carried a hint of sobbing. Lin Feng couldn't help but laugh secretly. The taste of teppanyaki octopus was really too good. It was Lung Zishi's first time eating teppanyaki octopus. It was so delicious that she cried. It turned out that Lin Feng heard that some people would cry after eating some extremely delicious food because the food was too delicious. Because he had never seen such a situation before, he didn't quite believe this saying. Now that he saw Lung Zishi cry because of eating teppanyaki octopus, he finally believed this saying. Lin Feng also cut off a piece of octopus meat and then ate it. His eyes couldn't help but light up slightly. Teppanyaki octopus and roasted meat were completely different experiences. Teppanyaki octopus had the taste of the sea, and the octopus meat was very chewy. The taste was really too good. 3 months later, Lin Feng and Lung Zishi arrived at the ancient demon domain. The ancient demon domain was the base camp of the demon clan. But even so, the demon clan only controlled half of the ancient demon domain's territory. There were many powerful forces in the rest of the ancient demon domain. Most of those forces were supported by the heavenly court. So, the demon clan forces in the ancient demon domain couldn't do anything to them. Lin Feng and Lung Zixi entered Nansha City. This was the southern city of the ancient demon domain. Chapter 5001. Since the primordial era, this faction had developed extremely rapidly. Moreover, it was said that the few perfected immortal experts of the primordial era had already sealed themselves in the divine stone before the Great War at the end of the primordial era. Therefore, they did not suffer during the Great War. A few years ago, a few perfected immortal experts had already appeared one after another. It was said that one of them had already touched the threshold of the Golden Immortal Realm. Golden Immortals were also known as Immortal Immortals. Once they broke through to the Golden Immortal Realm, it would be an extremely important transformation in their lives. Strength, lifespan. There would be a huge improvement. Therefore, breaking through to the Golden Immortal Realm would be on a completely different level. In the fourth heaven of the perfected Immortal Realm, some low-level perfected immortals could often challenge high-level perfected immortals. However, this kind of challenge basically happened to essence immortals or Tao immortals. Very few cultivators could challenge golden immortals. This was because golden immortals were really too powerful. They were so powerful that they were unimaginable. Once they broke through to the golden immortal realm, their lives would enter a different level of life. And if one did not enter the golden immortal realm, they would not be able to experience all of this. Only words. It was impossible to describe how terrifying and mysterious the golden immortal realm was. As they had been traveling during this period of time, Lin Feng planned to have a good rest with Lung Zixi in Nansha City. In addition, Lin Feng only knew that the Fire Qilin, the Great Rock King, and the others were in the Demon Clan's ancestral land. However, Lin Feng did not know where the Demon Clan's ancestral land was, so he wanted to look for the Fire Qilin and the others. Lin Feng needed to find out where the Demon Clan's ancestral land was first. Lin Feng and Lung Zixi booked a place to stay at an inn. They lived in a courtyard. Lin Feng liked to live in such a place. Firstly, the environment was good. Secondly, it was quieter. Staying in such a place, he would not be disturbed. There's a hot spring in the courtyard. Do you want to soak in the hot spring together? Lin Feng smiled at Lung Zixi. Go to hell. Lung Zixi threw a punch at Lin Feng. Lin Feng quickly jumped back and dodged Lung Zixi punch. Lung Zixi ignored Lin Feng and returned to her room. If she was taking a bath, she was probably washing in her room as well. It was impossible for her to run outside and soak in the hot spring with Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't have any taboos. He comfortably soaked in the hot spring for 2 hours and changed into clean clothes. Then, he planned to inquire about the ancestral land of the demonic beasts. Lung Zixi couldn't sit still. After hearing the commotion, she followed Lin Feng to inquire about the demon race's ancestral land. Lin Feng and Lung Zixi headed straight for the Bai Xiao Pavilion. On the way, Lin Feng frowned slightly. He felt like he was being watched. There seemed to be a pair of cold eyes staring at him from the dark. Lin Feng looked behind him, but he didn't find anyone suspicious. Lin Feng couldn't help but reveal a thoughtful expression. What's wrong? Lung Zixi asked. It's fine, Lin Feng said with a smile. When they came out, Lin Feng had already inquired about the location of the Bai Xiao Pavilion from the inn's staff. Therefore, he and Lung Zixi didn't stop and directly headed in the direction of the Bai Xiao Pavilion. Lin Feng, I didn't expect to see you here. This time, I won't let you go. I'll make sure you die without a burial place. A sinister and terrifying voice came from the corner of a street. Lin Feng naturally didn't hear the other party's words. He and Lung Zixi arrived at the Bai Xiao Pavilion. An old man received Lin Feng and Lung Zixi. After some conversation, they learned that this old man was called Zhang Xiao. He held the position of an elder in the Bai Xiao Pavilion. This old man didn't inquire about Lin Feng's identity. People who came to the Bai Xiao Pavilion were all here to buy information. Therefore, the Bai Xiao Pavilion wouldn't pry into their customers' privacy. The old man asked, May I know what information young master wants to inquire about? Lin Feng said bluntly, Does the Bai Xiao Pavilion have any information about the demon race's ancestral land? Hearing this, the old man was slightly shocked. As a top force that opposed the demon race, The Immortal Heaven sect was rather hostile towards the demon race. All these years, with the support of the Heavenly Court, the Immortal Heaven sect and the demon race often had various conflicts. Therefore, the demon race was a taboo topic in the Immortal Heaven sect. They couldn't casually mention the demon race. If they casually mentioned the demon race, especially if they tried to inquire about the demon race, it wouldn't end well if the Immortal Heaven sect found out. Therefore, in the territory ruled by the Immortal Heaven sect, very few people would ask about the demon race. Those people were also worried that someone would leak the information. However, Lin Feng wasn't afraid of such things. Was the Immortal Heaven sect that great? At the very least, Lin Feng wasn't afraid of the Immortal Heaven sect now. Lin Feng naturally heard about how strong some of the experts in the Immortal Heaven sect were. There were even cultivators who were close to the Golden Immortal Realm. However, they were only close to the Golden Immortal Realm and not the Perfected Immortal Realm. As long as they weren't in the Perfected Immortal Realm, they weren't perfected immortals. With Lin Feng's current combat strength and the various powerful treasures he had, he naturally didn't need to be afraid of the Immortal Heaven sect. According to the worst-case scenario, even if Lin Feng wasn't a match for the cultivator who was close to the Golden Immortal Realm, if he wanted to leave, the cultivator wouldn't be able to stop him. Young Master, do you know that in the territories ruled by the Immortal Heaven sect, Immortal One sect, Immortal Beast sect, and Immortal Battle sect, try not to inquire about the demon race? If the people from the 4 immortal sects know about it, the situation will be very bad. The old man reminded. Lin Feng smiled faintly and said, "It's okay." Looking at Lin Feng's casual look, the old man's heart skipped a beat. Lin Feng didn't seem like someone who didn't know the gravity of the situation. After hearing his words, he still looked so relaxed. Could it be that this young master had some powerful means? That was why he looked so confident. The old man thought. Perhaps it was possible. The old man said, "There are a total of 7 ancestral lands of the demon race in the ancient demon realm. I wonder which ancestral land of the demon clan you wish to inquire about." The ancestral lands of the demon race? Lin Feng could not help but feel surprised. This was something he had never thought of. Among the 7 ancestral lands of the demon race, Lin Feng had no idea which King Zhuang, Fire Qilin, and the others were in. However, Lin Feng remembered that Hua Lingxian had invited him before. King Zhuang, Fire Qilin, and the others should be together with Hua Lingxian's ancestral lands. Therefore, Lin Feng continued to ask, "Where is Hua Lingxian's ancestral lands?" Hua Lingxian, one of the top 10 fairies? The old man was shocked. "That's right." Lin Feng nodded. The old man said, "She's from the first ancestral land. The first ancestral land is also the holy land of the demon race. It's very mysterious. If young master asks me where the other 6 ancestral lands of the demon race are, I know all of them. However, I really don't know where the first ancestral land is." Chapter 5002. The old man smiled bitterly. "Indeed, we don't have any clues. The first ancestral land of the demonic beasts should be a very special parallel world. If you want to enter that parallel world, you need to know where the time node is. Apart from that, you also need a special medallion. Actually, the 4 major immortal sects are also looking for information about the first ancestral land. But just like our all-knowing pavilion, they haven't been able to find any clues." Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. So many forces were unable to find out where the first ancestral land was. This was indeed a troublesome matter. If they didn't know where the first ancestral land was, how would they get there? Perhaps they could go to the other ancestral lands and ask around? Lin Feng felt that this method was feasible. "Where are the other 6 ancestral lands?" Lin Feng asked. The old man took out a jade tube and said, "It's all recorded inside." Lin Feng asked, "How much is this information worth?" 300,000 immortal stones. The old man said. Lin Feng nodded and took out 300,000 immortal stones, handing them over to the old man. The old man said, "Young master, it's fine to inquire about the first ancestral land of the demonic beasts in the all-knowing pavilion, but you must not talk about it outside. Also, don't go to other businesses to inquire about it. The other businesses definitely don't know about it. and many of them are inextricably linked to the four major immortal sects. You might not be afraid of these things, but the four major immortal sects have terrifying methods. The less trouble, the better. What do you think, young master? Thank you for the reminder. I'll remember it. Lin Feng cupped his fists and left with Long Zixi. Where are we going next? Long Zixi asked. We'll rest for 3 days. Then, we'll go to the ancestral land of the absolute beginning demonic beasts to take a look, said Lin Feng. The absolute beginning demonic beasts of the 9 prefectures had some friendship with Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng had no friendship with the absolute beginning demonic beasts of the undying world. The reason he wanted to go to the absolute beginning demonic beasts of the undying world was because this place was the closest to the gathering place of the absolute beginning demonic beasts of the undying world. Therefore, Lin Feng planned to head to the undying world's grand primordium demon race to gather information. Lin Feng had long been mentally prepared for this. After all, it was impossible for the primordial demon race of the undying world to casually leak the news of the first ancestral land of the demon race. Lin Feng could only let nature take its course and take it one step at a time. In the next few days, Long Zixi took Lin Feng for a stroll in Nansha City. If he saw something he liked, he would take it and run. He didn't pay for it. Lin Feng followed behind her and paid for her. In the past few days, Lin Feng had heard some things about the Heavenly Illusionary Land. The Heavenly Illusionary Land was a very special training ground. It was said that some of the top forces in the ancient demon domain had a way to enter the Heavenly Illusionary Land. Some time ago, when the Heavenly Illusionary Land opened, many cultivators entered it. Of course, those who were able to enter were all cultivators from large forces who had mastered the method. Ordinary cultivators did not have the chance to enter the Heavenly Illusionary Land. As time passed, the cultivators who entered the Heavenly Illusionary Land obtained a lot of opportunities. Moreover, some cultivators returned from the Heavenly Illusionary Land with a full load and began to peddle the things they obtained from the Heavenly Illusionary Land in the major cities. And those things were often very ancient and extraordinary, causing many people to fight over them. I heard that a little rock king appeared in the demon race. This person obtained a heavenly illusionary mirror in the Heavenly Illusionary Land. That afternoon, when Lin Feng and Long Zixi were eating in a restaurant, a few cultivators at the next table were talking about the Heavenly Illusionary Land. At this time, a cultivator's words attracted Lin Feng's attention, because that cultivator mentioned Little Rock King. Little Rock King, Lin Feng's old friend. Back then in the Sky Martial continent, in the 9 regions, Little Rock King and Lin Feng fought side by side many times. And, back then, Lin Feng was young, and the Great Rock King helped Lin Feng a lot. Lin Feng was a person who knew how to repay kindness. He had never forgotten the kindness of the Great Rock King. Lin Feng did not expect to hear these people talking about the Little Rock King. Heavenly Illusionary Mirror. This is a good thing. Rumor has it that there are 7 heavenly illusionary mirrors. If you find 7 heavenly illusionary mirrors, the heavenly illusionary mirror will fuse into one and turn into an ancient weapon. However, even if the 7 heavenly illusionary mirrors are separated, they are still equivalent to a holy weapon. Who is this Little Rock King? How could he have such great luck? I've never heard of such a Little Rock King in the demon race. Another cultivator said doubtfully. The cultivator who spoke first said, It's normal to have never heard of this person. However, this Little Rock King is not simple. It is said that he is a cultivator who ascended from the mortal world. Immediately, someone scoffed and said, Cultivators who ascended from the mortal world are destined to have no great future. This person seems to have walked into dogshit luck. The cultivator who spoke first said, He came from the 9 regions' great world. Hiss. As soon as the cultivator finished speaking. Then, the group of cultivators sucked in a breath of cold air. The 9 regions' great world was the starting point of the myriad worlds. Everyone knew how extraordinary the 9 regions' great world was. In fact, many people might not understand the meaning of the starting point of the myriad worlds. This was easy to understand. The starting point. It was the place of origin, the place where it first appeared. At the beginning of the epoch was chaos. In the chaos, there was only one world, and that was the 9 regions. Later on, The 9 regions exploded. Then, it began to split. Only then did it split into the 3 supreme realms, the trichiliocosm, countless medium worlds, small worlds, and so on. In fact, at the beginning, the 9 regions was the cradle of the strong. Even if the 9 regions was not the supreme realm. However, countless top-notch experts had walked out of the 9 regions. For example, Hong Ming, Taoist Luya, Patriarch Hun Kuan, Hong Jun, Pangu, Niuhua, the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, and so on. At that time, the center of the myriad worlds was the 9 regions' great world. However, as time passed, the 9 regions' great world gradually became mediocre. Ordinary people might not know why the 9 regions' great world became mediocre, but some top-notch forces knew some secrets. The reason why the 9 regions' great world became mediocre seemed to be closely related to several places of death in the 9 regions' great world. The places of death in the 9 regions' great world were perhaps the most mysterious and strange places of death in the myriad worlds. Even the life-forbidden zones in the heaven realm, the wasteland, and other places were not as strange as the places of death in the 9 regions' great world. The cultivators from the 9 regions' great world were somewhat different from the cultivators from other worlds. No one knew why they were different. However, these people were very different. This difference was reflected in many aspects. For example, during the Age of Doom, even in the heaven realm, it was difficult for cultivators to break through to the saint realm. Chapter 5003. The 9 prefectures seemed so different. Countless people and forces wanted to find out what was so extraordinary about the 9 prefectures' great world. They wanted to know why such a thing happened. However, all of this was a mystery. There was no way to find out. This was also the reason why the group of cultivators was so shocked when they heard that Little Rock King was a cultivator from the 9 prefectures' great world. They looked down on cultivators from the mortal world, but that did not include the 9 prefectures' great world. On the contrary, these cultivators had a special respect for cultivators from the 9 prefectures' great world. Other than that, they were also curious. Not only were they curious about the cultivators of the 9 prefectures' great world, but they were also curious about the 9 prefectures' great world. Countless people dreamed of going to the 9 prefectures' great world one day to take a look. It seems that Little Rock King must have been listed as a key cultivation target by the demon clan's ancestral land, right? A cultivator said with emotion. That must be the case. Cultivators from the 9 prefectures are different from the rest. They will definitely be a key cultivation target. Another cultivator said with envy. Another cultivator said, Little Rock King is very extraordinary. He has outstanding talent and a powerful bloodline. His strength has improved very quickly, but he has only cultivated for about 200 years. I heard that after Little Rock King obtained the Empyrean Mirror, he was besieged by many experts. It is said that some of his companions even died in that battle. Hearing this, Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. He wondered if Feng Yaorao and the others were with Little Rock King. If they were together, would they be among those who died? Lin Feng's heart instantly jumped. I've heard about this too. It seems that some experts from the 4 major immortal sects are besieging them. It is said that the top geniuses from the 4 major immortal sects are involved in this matter. Another cultivator said, the 4 major immortal sects were supported by the heavenly court. Of course, the 14 major immortal sects had some tricks up their sleeves. However, although the 4 major immortal sects had some tricks up their sleeves, the 4 major immortal sects were extremely united when it came to dealing with the demon clan. Come, let's drink, a cultivator said as he raised his wine cup. These people did not continue to talk about this matter. They raised their cups and drank together. Lung Zishi looked carefree, but she was actually a meticulous person. After seeing Lin Feng's expression, she knew that the person they were talking about was related to Lin Feng. Lung Zishi asked, Is that Little Rock King your friend? Lin Feng nodded and said, It's a good friend from when we were young. I'll go ask them about the Little Rock King. Lin Feng stood up and walked over to the table. He cupped his fists and said, Brothers, I heard you all talking about Little Pong King earlier. May I know how he is now? When they saw Lin Feng, one of the cultivators quickly stood up. That cultivator quickly cupped his fists and said, I heard that the Little Rock King escaped with injuries, but some experts from the four immortal sects went to chase after him. A few days ago, I heard that the Little Rock King escaped from the heavenly illusory land, and the cultivators from the four immortal sects have been chasing after him. Brother, do you know where the Little Rock King was? Lin Feng asked. It's said that he escaped to the ancient demon desert, the cultivator said. Thank you for telling me. Lin Feng cupped his fists and threw some immortal stones to the cultivator before leaving with Lang Zishi. After Lin Feng left, the cultivator heaved a sigh of relief. He noticed that his back was drenched in sweat. His forehead was covered in beads of sweat. He sat down in his seat and panted heavily. He sat down and sat down. Brother Wang, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? One of the cultivators asked. I'm fine, the cultivator said with a wave of his hand. Brother Wang, why were you so polite to that kid earlier? There's no need to do that, right? Is that kid even worthy? Another cultivator said disapprovingly. Clearly, he felt that his good friend was being too polite. The others nodded in agreement. They felt that the cultivator was making a mountain out of a molehill. The cultivator smiled bitterly and said, Fortunately, we didn't say anything out of line earlier. Otherwise, we might have already gone to meet the King of Hell. Brother Wang, what do you mean by that? The others couldn't help but frown slightly as they looked at the cultivator surnamed Wang in confusion. The cultivator said, To tell you the truth, that young master just now, not anyone else. It's the young master from the Sin realm. What? After hearing the words of the cultivator surnamed Wang, everyone suddenly jumped to their feet, each of them revealing an expression of shock. Although the cultivator surnamed Wang didn't mention a name, they knew who the cultivator surnamed Wang was talking about. When they realized that the cultivator just now was the legendary existence, the group of cultivators was still shocked. At the same time, they broke out in cold sweat. Fortunately, they didn't say anything. Otherwise, they wouldn't even know how they died. Lin Feng naturally didn't know what those cultivators were talking about after he and Lang Zishi left. Lin Feng brought Lang Zishi with him and flew at maximum speed towards the ancient demon desert. Lin Feng had heard of the ancient demon desert before. It was said to be an extremely strange desert in the ancient demon domain. The desert was very dangerous. First, it was because there were many terrifying poisonous insects there. It was said that some of the poisonous insects could even poison a true immortal expert to death. If one was bitten by those poisonous insects, even if one didn't die, they would lose half their life. Second, the desert had an extremely terrifying magnetic field. Once one entered the desert, it was easy to get lost. If one got lost in the desert, they might never wake up again. This was an extremely terrifying thing. Many cultivators got lost in the ancient demon desert and never made it out alive. Third, it was said that there were many powerful desert creatures in the desert. Those desert creatures were very hostile to cultivators from the outside world. When cultivators from the outside world entered the desert to wait, they would often be attacked by those desert creatures. In the end, many cultivators from the outside world died under the attacks of those desert creatures. This was a very common occurrence. Of course, there were other factors as well. Therefore, the ancient demon desert was regarded as a forbidden area by many people. However, it wasn't that no one entered the ancient demon desert. In fact, there were still many cultivators who entered the ancient demon desert every year. This was because the ancient demon desert had some precious resources that the outside world didn't have. Those cultivators who entered the ancient demon desert wanted to search for those precious resources. Then, they would sell them. Chapter 5004. Half a month later, Lin Feng and Lang Zishi saw the ancient demon desert. After seeing the ancient demon desert, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. After arriving here, he realized that his blood seemed to flow a lot faster. This was the sudden inspiration ability, which meant that this place was very dangerous. The sudden inspiration ability was reminding Lin Feng not to enter rashly. However, Lin Feng did not care about these things at all. Little Rock King had escaped into the ancient demon desert. Lin Feng had to find Little Rock King because Little Rock King was Lin Feng's good brother. If he knew that his good brother was being hunted down and ignored it, he would not be Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at Lung Zishi and said, "Wait for me outside. I'll go in myself." Lung Zishi said, "No, I want to go too." Lin Feng said, "It's really too dangerous inside. If you go in, I might not be able to take care of you." Lung Zishi said, "You underestimate me too much. I don't need anyone to take care of me. What kind of storms have I not seen before? Do you think a tiny, ancient demon desert can trap me?" Lung Zishi was naturally active, so it was not possible for her to stay here. Lin Feng had already thought of this. Therefore, when he heard Lung Zishi's words, Lin Feng could only smile bitterly and nod. Since Lung Zishi insisted, he could only bring Lung Zishi along. Many cultivators were wandering outside the ancient demon desert. Some of them were here to admire the ancient demon desert. Some of them were smug, wondering if they should enter the ancient demon desert to look for treasures. This was not an easy decision because a place like the ancient demon desert was too dangerous. If they were not careful, they would lose their lives. Naturally, cultivators were worried about this. Therefore, before entering the ancient demon desert, they would consider it very carefully. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi did not hesitate. They rushed into the ancient demon desert directly. Lin Feng summoned the heart compass. "Great Sage Martin Immortal, come out," Lin Feng said. Sage Martin flew out and looked at the visitor, asking, "Why are you looking for me?" "Help me book a place for my friend, the Little Rock King," Lin Feng said. "I want the profound yellow origin stone. Do you have it?" Great Immortal Sage Martin asked. Lin Feng had never heard of the mysterious yellow origin stone, so he naturally could not take out this kind of thing. Lin Feng said, "Not at the moment. I'll owe you for now. First, help me find my brother, and then we'll talk. I'll compensate you in the future. Our rule has always been to get paid before doing anything. I'm sure you're aware of this, so I don't think I need to say anything more, right? Rules my ass. This is a special period, so we should be treated differently. Don't forget what your status is, and what my status is. If you talk about rules with me at any other time, I won't say anything. But if you talk about rules with me at this time, and something happens to my brother, I guarantee that you will be buried with him," Lin Feng said viciously. Sage Martin said, "You're a member of society. We can't afford to offend you, okay? But you must remember what you said. Don't forget to help me find the profound yellow origin stone." Lin Feng said, "Don't worry, I'll keep my word." Immediately after, the sacred Martin Great Immortal entered the heart plate, and the needle on the heart plate began to spin rapidly. Every time it spun, it would vibrate violently. Runes revolved around the heart compass. These runes were very special and could help the heart compass determine its position. As time passed, the needle on the heart compass started to slow down. However, the heart compass was unable to determine its final position. Sage Martin appeared and said, "I think we should leave this damned place. This place is very dangerous, and the magnetic field is so strong that it can seriously affect the heart compass. Leaving now is the best choice." Lin Feng said, "We're not leaving. Keep trying. Anyway, you still have some trump cards that you haven't used yet." Sage Martin said, "Kid, you don't understand. You have a lot of luck, and many powerful creatures want to kill you and steal your luck. If you leave obediently, there won't be any problems. However, if you insist on staying here, it will be extremely terrifying because those powerful creatures will definitely take the initiative to find you. While we've just entered the ancient demon desert, it's not too late to leave now." "I said I'm not leaving, so I'm not leaving. Stop wasting time and quickly determine Little Rock King's position," Lin Feng said. Even though he didn't want to do that, he had no choice but to listen to Lin Feng's orders. He had no choice but to listen to Lin Feng. Sage Martin entered the heart compass again. Lin Feng could vaguely hear an extremely weak sound coming from the heart compass. Sage Martin seemed to be chanting an incantation, but Lin Feng did not know what the incantation was about. It probably had something to do with controlling the heart compass. This guy had many secret techniques that were basically related to controlling the heart compass. The needle on the heart compass started to spin rapidly again. This time, it spun even faster. Time continued to pass. More and more runes emerged from the heart compass. The heart compass spun faster and faster. Finally, the heart compass stopped once again. This time, It pointed in a direction. Lin Feng's face lit up. The heart compass had pointed in a direction. Did that mean that Little Rock King was in that direction? We can move now. Follow the heart compass and we won't get lost. The sacred Martin Great Immortal vowed. Lin Feng nodded and quickly followed the direction pointed by the heart compass with Lung Zishi. On the way, they saw more than 10 cultivators exploring the desert, but Lin Feng and Lung Zishi did not pay attention to them. They continued to walk deeper into the desert. In the evening, a sandstorm started to blow in the desert. It was a black sandstorm that covered the sky and the sun. It was too scary. After seeing the black sandstorm that engulfed the world, Lin Feng could not help but frown. Hurry up and retreat. That sandstorm seems a little strange. Sage Martin said. Sage Martin's principle was to seek luck and avoid calamity. As long as there was danger, it would not recommend going. Sage Martin only wanted to go to places that were not dangerous. Lin Feng said, I have the hurricane pearl. It can stop the sandstorm. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng took out the hurricane pearl. Lin Feng said, I'll hug you so that you won't be blown away by the sandstorm. Chapter 5005. Take your claws away. Lung Zishi clenched her teeth and looked at Lin Feng. She felt that Lin Feng was taking advantage of her. Lin Feng said with a righteous look, Look at what you're saying. What do you mean take your claws away? I'm protecting you right now. It's for your own good. Let me tell you, I don't have any evil thoughts about you. I've always treated you like a little sister. Little sister, your whole family. Lung Zishi was a violent girl. When she heard Lin Feng say that he had always treated her like a little sister, she became even angrier. She threw a fist at Lin Feng, but Lin Feng quickly dodged it. Lin Feng said, Okay. You said you didn't want me to care about you. Then I won't care about you. If you're blown away by the sandstorm later, don't blame me. Lung Zishi curled her lips and said, What can a small sandstorm do to this lady? Lung Zishi had an incomparably arrogant expression. She was obviously a little proud. Moreover, she was extremely confident in herself. Lin Feng didn't know where Lung Zishi's confidence came from. Perhaps she had some powerful means. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi quickly rushed forward. The sandstorm was too terrifying. Lin Feng roughly estimated that the sandstorm had covered an area of over 100 li. Such a powerful sandstorm was extremely rare. The bodies of the cultivators who were caught in the sandstorm were directly torn apart by the sandstorm. They died miserably under the attack of the sandstorm. This kind of sandstorm was very dangerous, especially the core area. Even if Lin Feng had a treasure like the hurricane pearl, he wouldn't easily step into the core area of the sandstorm. It was a place that could take one's life. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi entered the sandstorm together. Lung Zishi sped up and flew quickly in the sandstorm. She giggled as she flew. To her, the sandstorm could only be described as fun. She turned her head to look at Lin Feng and said, Hurry up, you're too slow. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. Lung Zishi was actually able to ignore such a terrifying sandstorm. He didn't know what method she used. Lin Feng sped up and flew towards Lung Zishi. Some cultivators who were running away saw that Lin Feng and Lung Zishi were unimpeded in the sandstorm. They couldn't help but shout, Abnormal. Then, those cultivators continued running further away. They didn't dare to stay here any longer. Help! Help! Save us! Some cultivators in the sandstorm screamed in horror. They called for help from Lin Feng and Lung Zishi. Lin Feng looked in the direction of the voice and saw more than 10 cultivators hiding in an ancient void ship. The seal of the ancient void ship was resisting the attack of the sandstorm. However, at this moment, the seal of the ancient void ship had begun to crack. Once the ancient void ship was destroyed, those cultivators would have to face the terrifying sandstorm directly. Although they were still in the outer region, the sandstorm was still extremely terrifying. It was not something those cultivators could resist. Let's go and take a look, Lin Feng said. Lung Zishi nodded and flew towards the ancient void ship with Lin Feng. Lin Feng was much faster than Lung Zishi. However, even though Lin Feng was flying at full speed towards the ancient void ship, Lin Feng was still unable to reach the ancient void ship before it was destroyed. The ancient void ship was destroyed by the sandstorm. More than 10 cultivators were swept into the depths of the sandstorm. They struggled hard but could not resist the sandstorm. This sandstorm was too terrifying. It was the most terrifying sandstorm Lin Feng had ever seen in his life. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly, the fleshly bodies of some of the cultivators were blasted apart by the sandstorm's attacks. Even the cultivators who did not die were swept into the depths of the sandstorm. They would probably die without a burial place soon. Lin Feng quickly flew over and put his arm around the waist of a beautiful woman. She was about 30 years old. She was mature and charming. She was very charming. However, she had been scared out of her wits earlier. Now that Lin Feng had hugged her waist, she quickly hugged Lin Feng with both hands, as if she was afraid that Lin Feng would let go of her. Lin Feng did not have any romantic thoughts. Saving people was more important now. He quickly rushed towards the next cultivator. Lin Feng rushed to the side of the second cultivator. This was also a female cultivator. She was tall and charming, especially her long legs, which left a deep impression. Lin Feng's other hand hugged the long-legged beauty's waist. The long-legged beauty grabbed onto Lin Feng as if she was drowning and did not dare to relax. As for the others, they had all been swallowed by the sandstorm. Lin Feng smiled wryly. The others were probably dead. He couldn't do anything about it. Lin Feng faintly remembered that 2 extremely beautiful women had also been swallowed by the sandstorm. What a pity. You really know how to save people. Lung Zishi flew over and cast a sidelong glance at Lin Feng. She looked very angry, especially when she saw the beautiful woman and the long-legged beauty wrapped around Lin Feng like octopuses. She became even angrier, although she did not know where this nameless anger came from. Lin Feng naturally heard the ridicule in Lung Zishi's words. He said, "I'm just following the principle of saving people who are closest to me." Lung Zishi sneered twice. Obviously, Lung Zishi did not believe Lin Feng's words. She didn't pay attention to Lin Feng and continued flying. In fact, Lin Feng did not believe what he said. Lin Feng did see that these 2 women were extremely beautiful, so he saved them first. "You 2 can let go. I'll use my mana to protect you. Nothing will happen to you," Lin Feng said. He was actually quite worried that Lung Zishi would misunderstand him. When the 2 women heard Lin Feng's words, their pretty faces turned slightly red. Only then did they let go of Lin Feng. Lin Feng used his mana to protect the 2 female cultivators, then quickly chased after Lung Zishi. They successfully rushed out of the sandstorm. Lung Zishi did not wait for Lin Feng. Instead, she flew directly into the depths of the desert. The 2 women originally wanted to ask who Lin Feng was. They were grateful that Lin Feng had saved them. In addition, Lin Feng was extraordinarily handsome, so they had a very good impression of Lin Feng. Therefore, they wanted to continue getting to know him. However, before they could speak, Lin Feng said, "The ancient demon desert is full of danger. You should have seen it. Quickly leave the ancient demon desert." With that, Lin Feng quickly chased after Lung Zishi. Chapter 5006. Lin Feng caught up with Lung Zishi and said, "Wait for me. Why are you flying so fast?" Lung Zishi turned to look at Lin Feng and sneered. "Why should I wait for you? Those 2 beauties are so tempting. One is mature and charming, while the other has long and charming legs. You can choose to continue fooling around with them. You're really enjoying the bliss of having 2 lovers." These words sounded like she was mocking Lin Feng. Lin Feng could naturally tell. He said, "Look at what you're saying. I only saved them because they were pitiful. They're just strangers to me. From now on, we probably won't meet again. You're the most important person to me." Hearing Lin Feng's words, Lung Zishi felt a little happy. Her emotions came and went quickly. However, Lung Zishi did not reveal her happiness. She snorted and said, "Don't try to deceive me with these flowery words. I'm not like those little girls who are infatuated after hearing flowery words." Lin Feng said, "I'm not saying flowery words. I'm telling the truth." Humph! Lung Zishi snorted twice. Roar! Suddenly, the roar of a beast came from the depths. When he heard the roar, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. Something seems to have happened. Let's hurry over and take a look. Lung Zishi was excited. This girl was the kind of person who wanted to see the world in chaos. Therefore, after hearing the commotion in the depths, it was inevitable that she would be extremely excited. Lung Zishi quickly flew towards the depths of the ancient demon desert. Lin Feng also quickly flew towards the depths of the ancient demon desert. After an hour, Lin Feng and Lung Zishi saw a huge skeleton. The skeleton was about 100 meters tall. The flesh on its body had long been eaten clean, leaving only blood-stained bones. It was just eaten. I don't know what ate its flesh. We can't stay here for long. Let's go quickly. Lin Feng's expression became serious. Lung Zishi's small face was a little pale. She did not know what that creature was, but its voice could be heard from so far away. It should be an extremely powerful existence. However, even such a powerful existence was now dead. Lin Feng was worried that the unknown existence that ate the powerful creature had not left. If that was the case, it would be dangerous. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi were about to leave. Suddenly, a large amount of sand and dust swept from all directions. After seeing the rolling sand and dust, Li Yunmu was shocked. Lin Feng's expression. Because Lin Feng realized that the sand and dust not sand, it was a dense group of insects. It's the desert god-killing bug. I thought that it had gone extinct a long time ago. I never thought that it would still exist. Let's go. If we don't leave now, we won't be able to, said Lin Feng gloomily. There were records of the desert god-killing insect in the Classic of Mountains and Seas. According to the records in the Classic of Mountains and Seas, the desert god-killing bug was an extremely terrifying and ferocious insect species. This kind of insect species lived in swarms of insects. Moreover, these swarms of insects had a special characteristic, which was that they possessed extremely terrifying offensive and defensive abilities. First of all, in terms of attack, this swarm of insects could easily bite through a magic treasure at the immortal level. If a human's body was attacked by the swarm of insects, he would probably die a miserable death. The huge creature from before had proved all of this. That huge creature's combat strength was absolutely incomparable. However, after a miserable scream, there was no sound. When Lin Feng and Lung Zishi found the gigantic creature, it had already turned into a pile of bones. Secondly, in terms of defense, the desert god-killing insect's defense was extremely abnormal. It was said that the desert god-killing insect was a terrifying existence that was impervious to fire, water, and weapons. It was an extremely difficult task to kill them. Many people had tried to kill the desert god-killing bugs, but they all failed in the end. This was also one of the reasons why the desert god-killing bugs were so powerful. The desert god-killing bugs were both offensive and defensive. Moreover, every time they were mobilized, they would cover the sky and the sun. Just imagine, how could a cultivator fight against such a swarm of desert god-killing insects? No one could fight against such a terrifying existence. Lin Feng wanted to leave this place quickly, but he and Lung Zishi were quickly surrounded by the desert god-killing insects. They had no choice but to resist the attacks of the desert god-killing insects. Lin Feng took out the heavenly fire. The heavenly fire burned fiercely. However, the heavenly fire couldn't hurt the desert god-killing insects. Seeing this, Lin Feng's face suddenly darkened. It seemed that the rumors were true. The desert god-killing insect was invulnerable to water and fire. Even his heavenly fire couldn't hurt the desert god-killing insects. This showed how terrifying the desert god-killing insects were. Lin Feng took back the heavenly fire. He put up a defensive light shield to protect him and Lung Zishi. The desert god-killing insects covered the sky and the earth quickly rushed over, completely wrapping the defensive light shield in it. Then, the desert god-killing insects began to gnaw at the defensive light shield. The defensive light shield began to thin. As time went by, Lin Feng's defensive light shield had become very thin. The surrounding desert god-killing insects had completely sealed off the sky and the earth. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi were completely trapped. Lin Feng and Lung Zishi couldn't break out of the encirclement. Lung Zishi's little face turned pale. Thinking of the creature that had been gnawed into bones, her body suddenly trembled. She was worried that she would be gnawed into bones by the desert god killing insects like that powerful creature. Even if she died, she should die beautifully. What should we do? I don't want to die. Hurry up and think of a way. Lung Zishi looked at Lin Feng and said with a pale face. At that moment, she had put all her hopes on Lin Feng. She hoped that Lin Feng could think of a way to escape. It was extremely unrealistic to break out of the encirclement now. If she wanted to live, she had to think of other ways. Lin Feng did think of other ways. Chapter 5007. Although the Devil King insect was still young, its growth rate was extremely fast. After 3 evolutions, its battle prowess had greatly increased. Not only was the Devil King insect powerful, but it could also intimidate other insectoids. This was a natural pressure. It was a powerful pressure that a higher life form could exert on a lower life form. After the demonic king insect flew out, it immediately let out a sharp and ear-piercing cry. Lin Feng immediately felt that the demonic king insect's body was emitting an extremely powerful pressure. Demonic king intimidation. This was a powerful technique that the demon king insect had grasped, the demon king's intimidation technique. It was able to exert a powerful pressure on all kinds of insect-type creatures. This kind of pressure, it was extremely harmful to insect-type creatures. Therefore, most insect-type creatures would collapse after being suppressed by the demon king bug. After the demonic king insect was pressured by the demonic king insect, the desert god slaughtering insects also became chaotic. The desert god slaughtering insects didn't dare to continue attacking Lin Feng and Lung Zishi. The demonic king insect has been intimidated. That little insect is so powerful. Lung Zishi immediately became happy. Lin Feng didn't say anything because he felt that things weren't so simple. Although the demonic king insect was in chaos, the demonic king insect quickly calmed down. Moreover, when they were intimidated by the demonic king insect didn't run away. What did this mean? This meant that although the demonic king insect had temporarily intimidated the demonic king insect, it couldn't scare them away. As time passed, the demonic king insect would completely recover and no longer be afraid of it. This time, it was the same. The demonic king insect's fear of the demonic king insect gradually disappeared. There must be a demonic king insect hiding in the background, commanding the demonic king insect. Lin Feng said in a deep voice. If we kill that demonic king insect, won't we be out of danger? Lung Zishi asked. Lin Feng smiled bitterly and said, it's easier said than done to kill the demonic king insect in the middle of a demonic king insect. Screech. At that moment, a sharp and ear-piercing cry came from the demonic king insect. Lung Zishi immediately pointed in a direction and shouted, over there. The insect king is over there. As soon as Lung Zishi's voice fell, the endless swarm of desert god-killing bugs swarmed towards Lin Feng, Lung Zishi, and the Devil King bug. Clearly, the insect king's cry was an order to the swarm to attack Lin Feng and the others. With the support of the insect king, the insects forgot their fear of the demon king insect. That was why they charged towards Lin Feng and the others without fear of death. It's over. We're dead for sure. Lung Zishi screamed in horror. She didn't want to die, but everything in front of her made her despair. Lin Feng's face couldn't help but become extremely gloomy. The situation was indeed very unfavorable for them. The Devil King insect let out an angry roar. This roar was a sound wave-type spirit art. It was infused with the power of sound waves and anger. Its power was very terrifying, and it could cause great damage to the insect swarm. A large number of godly slaughtering desert insects died, but the number of dead godly slaughtering desert insects was only a small part of the swarm. The godly slaughtering desert insects quickly moved towards Lin Feng, Lung Zishi, and the Demon King insect. The current situation was too dangerous, but at this critical moment, Lin Feng summoned the primitive demon refining bug, celestial devouring bug, and flying crimson demon bug. When the 3 insect swarms flew out, the 3 swarms immediately fought with the desert god-killing bugs. You still have so many insect swarms in captivity. After seeing the 3 insect swarms, Lung Zishi's eyes lit up. When the 3 insect swarms joined the battle, they immediately blocked the attack of the desert god-killing bugs. However, Lin Feng frowned. He didn't pay attention to Long Zixi, and he didn't have time to pay attention to her. This was because Lin Feng realized that the 3 insect swarms he summoned were not as strong as the desert god-killing bugs. The desert god-killing bug's combat power was too terrifying. Lin Feng's primitive demon refining bug, celestial devouring bug, and flying crimson demon bug joined forces to fight against the desert god-killing bugs, but they still suffered heavy casualties. The dead insects were all devoured by the desert god-killing bugs. Of course, it didn't mean that the desert god-killing bugs didn't suffer any casualties. In fact, it wasn't the case. The desert god-killing bugs also suffered heavy casualties, but compared to Lin Feng's 3 insect swarms, the desert god-killing bugs' casualties were much smaller. Moreover, the number of desert god-killing bugs was much greater than Lin Feng's 3 insect swarms. Therefore, Lin Feng couldn't afford to continue fighting. If the battle continued, the 3 insect swarms he had painstakingly raised would all be destroyed here. This was naturally not something Lin Feng wanted to see. At this moment, the Devil King bug turned to look at Lin Feng and let out a series of cries. The Devil King bug was communicating with Lin Feng through divine thought. Lin Feng was surprised. This was because the Devil King bug had told Lin Feng away. If they fought, they might be able to escape this calamity. The Devil King bug's method was to personally enter the swarm and fight with the Insect King. If it could defeat the Insect King, they would be able to escape. "Let's go together," Lin Feng said. "I can't bring you guys with me. With my current ability, I can only pass through the swarm by myself and reach the Insect King," the Devil King bug said. Lin Feng's expression was rather ugly. Although the Devil King bug was already very powerful, as the king of the desert god-killing bugs, how tyrannical was the Insect King? No one knew. So, the Devil King bug could contend against the Insect King. Lin Feng didn't have any confidence at all. Therefore, Lin Feng was very worried about the Devil King bug. The Devil King bug said, "This is our only chance. I'll let the Emperor Archaic and the primordial ancestral insect go with you." Lin Feng said, "I can't bring them with me either. They still have some ways to deal with the desert god-killing bugs, so let them stay and protect Master." The Devil King bug said. "Then be careful," Lin Feng said in a heavy voice. Just as the Devil King bug said, the Devil King bug went to challenge the desert god-killing bug king alone, and defeating this insect king was the only way to escape. There was no other way. Therefore, Lin Feng had to let the Devil King bug try. "I won't be defeated, because I am the Devil King of the insect race," the Devil King bug said. As soon as it finished speaking, its body exuded a terrifying battle intent. Immediately, Chapter 5008. The body of the Devil King insect exuded a very special aura. After sensing the special aura of the Devil King insect, the surrounding desert god-killing insects were greatly affected. Many desert god-killing insects quickly retreated, not daring to get close to the Devil King insect. However, there were still some desert god-killing insects that were not afraid of death rushed towards the Devil King insect and launched an attack on it. However, these desert god-killing bugs were all killed by the special energy fluctuations coming from the demonic king bug's body. The demonic king bug charged towards the desert god-killing bug king, but it was blocked by a large number of desert god-killing bugs. It needed to continuously kill these desert god-killing bugs before it could get close to the bug king, but this required time. Now, whether it was the demonic king bug or Lin Feng and the others, what they lacked the most was time. Moreover, if this continued, the demonic king bug's battle strength would be greatly reduced. Even if it managed to get close to the bug king, how would it be able to fight against it? The demonic king bug obviously knew this, so when it looked in the bug king's direction, it let out a series of strange cries. These cries sounded like a provocation. What is it saying? Lung Zixi looked at Lin Feng and asked. Lin Feng said, "It's issuing a life and death challenge to the bug king. The bug king won't agree, right? After all, the bug king can rely on the desert god killing bugs to exhaust its battle strength, and then wait until its battle strength is almost exhausted before attacking it again." Lung Zixi said. Lin Feng said, "No, the bug king will agree." Lung Zixi asked, "Why are you so confident?" Lin Feng replied, "The Bug King rules over a swarm of bugs and is considered an invincible race in the ancient demon desert. Therefore, the Bug King must be extremely confident in its own strength. The demonic king bug has issued a formal challenge to the Bug King in front of its swarm. This is a provocation to the Bug King's dignity, and the Bug King shouldn't refuse. These king-level existences often place great importance on their dignity, including the Bug King. Therefore, I think the Bug King will agree to the demonic king bug's challenge." It was just as Lin Feng had said. After the demon king bug issued a challenge to the Bug King, a sharp and ear-piercing cry came from the back of the swarm. It was the Bug King's cry. After the Bug King's cry came out, the desert god-killing bugs that were besieging the demon king bug quickly opened a path for the demon king bug to pass through. Boom! A terrifying aura spread out from afar. The devil king worm and the insect king met. The two terrifying existences did not say much and directly released a terrifying aura fluctuation. After that, they quickly pounced on each other. Lin Feng saw the appearance of the insect king. It was a desert god-killing insect the size of a wash basin. Although the desert god-killing bug was not very large, compared to the desert god-killing bug that was only the size of a fingernail, it was simply too enormous. Compared to the insect king, the devil king insect's body was so small and delicate. Therefore, when Lin Feng saw the size of the insect king, Lin Feng couldn't help but become extremely worried. No wonder Lin Feng was so worried. It was because the insect king was simply too powerful. Bang! Accompanied by a violent collision sound, the devil king insect and the insect king collided violently. A powerful force swept out in all directions, causing the void to shatter. The devil king insect was unable to withstand the insect king's attack. It was directly sent flying by the insect king. Lin Feng and Lung Zixi expressions became even more unpleasant. They had only just exchanged blows, and the devil king insect was already at a disadvantage. This was not a good thing. Screech! Around them, the endless swarm of insects let out ear-piercing screeches. Those insects quickly charged toward Lin Feng and Lung Zixi. Lin Feng's three main insect swarms resisted the attacks of these desert god-killing bugs with great difficulty. However, there were still many desert god-killing bugs that broke through the line of defense and charged directly toward Lin Feng and Lung Zixi. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. He wielded the black dragon sword and slashed at the desert god-killing bugs that had broken through the three main insect swarms. The desert god-killing bugs' bodies were extremely tough and had amazing defensive capabilities. However, if they were hit by Lin Feng's black dragon sword, they would not survive. One by one, the desert god-killing bugs were cut in half by Lin Feng's black dragon sword. Meanwhile, Lung Zixi wielded a short sword and killed some desert god-killing bugs as well. Fortunately, there were not many desert god-killing bugs that had broken through the defense. Otherwise, the situation would be very troublesome. Lin Feng summoned the Emperor Archaic and the primordial ancestor Zerg. They joined the battle and fought the desert god-killing bugs together with Lin Feng's three main insect swarms. With the help of the Emperor Archaic and the primordial ancestor Zerg, no desert god-killing bugs broke through the three main insect swarms' defense. Meanwhile, Lin Feng and Lung Zixi looked at the other battlefield. Bang, 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 bang. At this time, the insect king launched a continuous attack on the devil king bug, accompanied by the sound of collision. The devil king bug suffered a great blow. Under the insect king's attack, the devil king bug was forced to retreat. It could not threaten the insect king at all. After seeing this scene, Lung Zixi suddenly became anxious. She said, "That insect king is so powerful. Your little bug is no match for that insect king. I'm afraid it won't be able to last long." Lin Feng smiled bitterly and nodded. The insect king's battle strength was indeed too powerful. This was even beyond Lin Feng's expectations. After the insect king sent the devil king bug flying, it once again attacked the devil king bug. The insect king stretched out its sharp claws and attacked the devil king bug. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng could not help but worry for the devil king bug. The devil king bug was in a bad situation. At any time, anywhere. At any time, it could be killed by the insect king. Although Lin Feng did not want to admit this, he had no choice but to do so. Just as the Insect King's terrifying attack was about to land on the Devil King Bug's body, the Devil King Bug suddenly spat out a large number of silk threads. These silk threads were all black and had an extremely strange power lingering around them. After seeing these silk threads, Lin Feng could not help but be slightly stunned. He did not know that the Devil King Bug could actually spit out silk threads. Clearly, this was a special method passed down by the Devil King Bug race. At such a close distance, even the powerful Insect King was unable to dodge the threads that the demonic King Insect spat out. Therefore, the dense silk threads wrapped around the Insect King's body. That little bug still has such a trump card? Lung Zishi excitedly shouted. At this time, the Devil King Bug began to attack the Insect King. Dense runes appeared on the outside of the Devil King Bug's body. These runes completely covered its body. Even from a distance, Lin Feng could still feel the terrifying power from these runes. In the next moment, Chapter 5009. Bang! Along with the dull sound of the collision, the Devil King worm slammed into the Insect King's body. The Insect King's body was extremely hard, but after taking the Devil King worm's attack, the Insect King's outer shell actually had many cracks. And from those cracks, some green juice flowed out. Those juice. It was emitting a foul smell. Those juice were probably equivalent to a cultivator's blood. The Insect King was injured. This made Lin Feng and Lung Zishi reveal a look of joy. The Devil King worm continued to charge towards the Insect King, wanting to kill the Insect King in one go. But at this time, the Insect King roared in anger. It was simply humiliated that it was injured by the Devil King worm. The Insect King was an extremely proud existence. Therefore, it simply could not allow such a thing to happen. The Insect King only wanted to quickly kill the Devil King worm to vent its anger. Many black flames actually surged out of the Insect King's body. The flames burned all the threads that were wrapped around its body into ashes. Then, the Insect King slapped the Devil King worm with its claws. At this time, the Devil King worm flew over and collided with the Insect King's huge claws. The Devil King worm was once again blasted out. Although the Insect King was injured, its fighting strength was still extremely heaven-defying. It was not an easy task to fight against the Insect King. This point, it was indeed quite troublesome. The Insect King rushed towards the Devil King worm like a madman and then launched a crazy attack on it. It was mainly because this guy was injured by the Devil King worm previously, so now it was extremely angry. The Devil King worm was completely suppressed. Crack, crack, crack. Under the constant attacks of the Insect King, the Devil King worm was injured, and many of the shells covering its body also had cracks. The Devil King worm's blood was golden blood. Now, a lot of golden blood flowed out of the Devil King worm's body. Seeing that the Devil King worm was injured and suppressed to the point where it could not fight back, Lin Feng could not help but worry for the Devil King worm. But now, he could not help the Devil King worm. Everything depended on whether the Devil King worm could survive this difficult period. The Insect King's attacks became faster and stronger. The Devil King worm was also being suppressed more and more. Lin Feng even felt that the Devil King worm could not hold on any longer. Suddenly, a golden beam of light flew out from the Devil King worm's body. He did not know what kind of light beam was it, but that light beam was extremely powerful. The light beam instantly flew in front of the Insect King, and the Insect King waved its claws to meet the golden light beam. But that golden light beam of light cut the Insect King worm's claws. When Lin Feng and Long Zishi saw that, their eyes twinkled. The Devil King worm was the Insect King. The Devil King worm was the Insect King worm. Insect King being crushed King worm until now. The Devil King bug displayed its unique characteristics. That golden light was unimaginably terrifying. Lin Feng was guessing that the demonic king insect had spent a lot of time condensing that golden light. It was very difficult to execute such an attack. However, once it was used, it could often cause extremely terrifying lethality. The Devil King worm had been suppressed for such a long time and did not have the power to fight back. Firstly, it was because in terms of battle strength, the Devil King worm was indeed not as strong as the Insect King. Secondly, It was because the Devil King Worm did not fight the Insect King with all its might. Because the Devil King Worm needed to condense that golden light beam, the Devil King Worm could only use a portion of its battle strength to fight the Insect King. The rest of its energy was used to secretly condense that golden light beam. Fortunately, before the Devil King Worm was killed by the Insect King, it successfully used its ultimate move. Screech! The Insect King, who had lost one of its claws, let out a painful cry. The Insect King losing one of its claws was like a person losing an arm. The impact was naturally great. The Devil King Worm seized the opportunity and rushed forward. Once again, it slammed into the Insect King. After receiving the Devil King Worm's attack, the Insect King was sent flying. Then, the Devil King Worm spat out a mass of black liquid. The black liquid instantly enveloped the Insect King. The Insect King wanted to dodge, but it was too late. The poison was instantly sprinkled on the Insect King's body and seeped into the Insect King's body from its wound. The poison in the Devil King Worm's body was naturally extremely terrifying. Therefore, when the Devil King Worm's poison seeped into the Insect King's body, the Insect King roared in pain. The Insect King knew that it was in an extremely bad situation, so it turned around and quickly fled into the distance. The Devil King Worm's morale was greatly boosted as it chased after the escaping Insect King. Seeing the Insect King flee, the surrounding desert god-killing worms suddenly seemed to have lost their backbone. A huge swarm of worms. They began to stir. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He did not expect the Devil King Worm to turn the tables in this battle. Now, the Insect King was severely injured. Without the command of the Insect King, the swarm was like a mass of loose sand. Lin Feng immediately ordered the three major insect swarms, the Emperor Archaic and the Archaic Ancestor Worm Xia, to counterattack. Under the lead of the Emperor Archaic and the Archaic Ancestor Worm, the three major insect swarms launched a fierce counterattack against the worms in the depths of the desert. A large number of desert god-killing worms were killed, and the rest of the desert god-killing worms quickly fled in all directions. "Let's go and catch up to them," Lin Feng said. Lung Zishi nodded excitedly. She was overjoyed to have escaped death this time. Now, she could finally hold her head high. Lin Feng kept the three major insect swarms, leaving the Emperor Archaic and the Archaic Ancestor Worm outside. Then, he quickly chased after the Insect King and the Devil King Worm in the distance. The Insect King was injured, and its speed was greatly reduced compared to its peak. Even so, the Insect King's speed was still very fast. The Devil King Worm chased after the Insect King relentlessly, while Lin Feng used his mana to wrap around Lung Zishi. The Emperor Archaic and the Archaic Ancestor Worm quickly caught up with the Devil King Worm. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. He wrapped the Devil King Worm with his mana and continued to chase after the Insect King. When the Insect King saw that Lin Feng was about to catch up to it, its eyes became extremely gloomy. It increased its speed. After a quarter of an hour, the distance between the two sides was only about 100 meters. The Insect King also saw Lin Feng and the others chasing after it. At this moment, the Insect King directly burrowed into the ground. The Insect King instantly burrowed into the ground and disappeared without a trace. "You can't escape," Lin Feng sneered, and then used the Great Earth Elemental technique. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.